used to rap with a full-blown American accent.
What kind of American?
Well, I thought I sounded American. Listening back to it now, which I would never do again.
Doesn't sound American.
I sounded like an Australian guy trying to sound American.
What was your name when you were the American MC?
Montana.
Oh, man.
I was obsessed with Scarface at the time, so Tony Montana.
Is there already an American artist?
You're probably thinking French Montana.
French Montana, yeah. You were the original Montana.
That was the original Montana. That's nothing to be proud of. I started writing rhymes when I was like 14 years old, and then I started recording them again just in a makeshift little shitty setup. I was living with my mum still, and this is when like the computer screens had backs to them, had like a towel or something sitting on top of the computer screen. I bought like a handheld $50 mic from Harvey Norman. I would just sit the mic on top of the computer screen, read off whatever's on the computer. I would just record like multiple songs a day. I would just write to record and then kind of burn it onto CDs and give the CDs to my friends. And then this record label, Basecamp Cuts, signed us, and that didn't go very well. I started just recording Australian accent stuff, again straight back to the lab, just jacking beats.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then a friend of mine gave my CD to Optimus, and the rest was history. When I first started doing shows, I was like terrified, and then the more I did it, I was like, oh man, I'm never gonna die doing this. Like, it's okay, you know. And if you get a rush and you just want to do it more and more, you want to do it again and again. There's so much ego in hip hop, man. Drama and situations like that. A lot of the industry is very unauthentic and disingenuous. When you see the other side of the curtain and you know how things actually are or how people actually feel.
This podcast is proudly sponsored by Studio 187 Tattoo. They're located on Guildford Road in Maylands, and I'm a clean skin, but if I wasn't, I would definitely be going to see these guys. They even offer private rooms to get tattooed in if you're not a fan of the open studio structure. You can find them on Instagram at Studio 187 Tattoo. Welcome back. It's the Osmetric series, and today I am joined by Bit of Belief. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me. It came to my attention that we've actually met before.
We have met before.
Yes.
Well, we didn't work out what year that would have been, but I guess if you were there, you must kind of have an idea of.
So that would be, at least 10 years ago. So mid to late 20s. Yeah, I'd say mid 20s.
Horizon Haze, kind of like.
Yeah, it would have been around that time.
Yeah, that comes to memory. Like I feel like maybe you hadn't dropped it yet, or you were working on it.
Yeah.
You were recording in your room at that time.
Yeah, so it was definitely the car and buying house you're talking about. Yeah, I was just recording at home on like a shitty little setup. I was studying at the time. I was going to TAFE to be a youth worker. I don't know if you would have.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
In after that.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, I had some good memories in that house. And you're right, it was like peak bachelor. It would have been mid-20s, 26, 27-year-old.
You had like basketball cranking on the TV.
Obsessed with basketball.
Jerseys up on the wall.
Still
and
obsessed
shit.
with basketball. Yeah.
I should have had some basketball questions ready. ChatGPT will sort me out if I need to. But
fire them off, bro.
Oh man, I'm gonna come up with some good ones. I've got some pretty old stuff here, which is gonna be cool.
Okay.
I know you've done a couple other ones. So you did Sesh with Sev recently.
Yep.
And you did. I couldn't remember the name of the other one. What was you spoke to a guy?
I did the hard. I always go to the hard yarns. They're old friends of mine, and
was it hard yarns?
Hard yarns is Delby and Branchy, and then I did.
You did Roadshow.
That was a while ago now.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
And then I did Diego's with Devon. Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking of because I kind of recognize the mics. They were like Rhodes. I think they look a little bit different. That's kind of what I have in my head. Yeah. So you've done a few.
Yeah.
So we'll try to hopefully hit you with some stuff no one else has.
That's all right.
Was a bit of a nerd back in the day, so I'm looking forward to where this kind of fits in because I used to listen to a lot of your old stuff, but I don't know if it's the oldest stuff. So when was your actual like first like song or mixtape? And I want to see if it lines up.
Oh man, I would have been when I started writing rhymes when I was like 14 years old, and then I started recording them again just in a makeshift little shitty setup. I was living with my mum still, living at my mum's house, and I bought like a handheld $50 mic from Harvey Norman. And this is when like the computer screens had backs to them, so like they would go back. And I had like a towel or something sitting on top of the computer screen, and I would just sit the mic on top of the computer screen, read off whatever's on the computer, and just record into this. I can't even remember what the software was called. And I would just record like multiple songs a day. I would just write to record and then kind of burn it onto CDs and give the CDs to my friends. And that would have been like from 14 to like 18, and then this record label, Base Camp Cuts, signed us, and that didn't go very well. But I've made some really good memories with them guys, albeit. But on the business side of things, it didn't really go well at all, and it was a really good learning curve for me as well. And then that was when I was like 17 until I was like 19, 20. And then I bailed that because I decided I want to rap with the Australian accent. So I used to rap with a full blown, well, I thought I sounded American accent. Listening back to it now, which I would never do again, I didn't sound American at all. I sounded like an Australian guy trying to sound American. And then I wanted to switch my accent, but they were like dead against the accent. They had like beef with Downside and stuff. So I bailed them, and then I started just recording Australian accent stuff. Again, straight back to the lab, just jacking beats, just recording stuff. And then a friend of mine gave my CD to Optimus, and kind of the rest was history, like pertaining to my like entry into the Aussie hip hop scene.
What was your name when you were the American MC?
Montana.
Oh man, I think I know this.
You know
I think
now?
we talked about this. Yeah,
Shame. Yeah, it's called. I was called Montana. I was obsessed with Scarface at the time, so Tony Montana.
Is there already American artists?
No, there's a place in America called Montana. Oh no, you're probably thinking French Montana.
French Montana. Yeah, I know I've heard it before. Okay,
but I was just Montana.
You were the original Montana.
I was the original Montana. Yeah, that's nothing to be proud of. It's a weird name now. I think about it.
But there's no Montanas. Like there's no Montana songs out there.
Oh, they'll be out there somewhere. Yeah, yeah. It was weird though. Like now these days, they kind of that old record label. They kind of started re-releasing my old stuff, but they kind of scribbled out the cover and just put like Times New Roman over the top of it, where it used to say Montana, just says Bitter Belief. They started trying to like sell CDs on eBay and stuff. I was like, whatever.
You just let them do it?
I initially hit him up and said, "What are you doing? you can't do this." I don't remember where it went, to be honest with you. I think they shut it a little bit and took it all down. So I don't know whether it's still out there or not, but I doubt you'd find it under Montana anymore. It's probably under Bitter Belief somewhere. But yeah, the music wasn't that great either in hindsight. But all this stuff was like learning curve for me, and it was pretty, it played a pretty significant role in me finding out who I actually was and what I wanted to sound like. So when I linked up with Opto and got in with Downside and Drafto and all the rest of them, I was like, okay, cool. I can like rap how I talk, and when I listen to my stuff, I can actually identify with it and go, cool. It felt a lot more real. Whereas before, I was like stepping into character, Montana, and rapping about stuff that I wasn't really living. So yeah, it definitely, as much as I look back on it in shame, I feel like it needed to take place. It needed to happen. Like process of elimination. Let's figure out what we don't want to do straight off the bat.
The furthest thing from Bitter Belief,
100%.
American Montana.
Yeah.
So you said that you wanted to rap, or you started rapping how you talked, which was good. But the Bitter Belief now, and even the Bitter Belief over the last maybe even probably up to 10 years, is very different. Well, I think it's pretty different to the old Bitter Belief that I used to listen to sonically. You used to rap quite deep.
Yeah.
You used to like almost put on a more deeper voice. I don't know if you were putting that on, or you know exactly what I mean though.
I think there was phases where I did for sure, because I had this like parent, and all my favorite rappers had really deep raspy voices, like DMX. I loved DMX. Like I went through a stage where I was just obsessed with DMX, and I've actually kind of gone back into that phase at the moment. But like, yeah, all my favorite rappers had really deep voices. So I feel like when I didn't have a deep voice, like when I was young, I feel like I might have just added to it a little bit.
Yeah. Like Judge and Jury is particularly noticeable if you listen to that and then listen to a new.
I'd have to listen to it. Yeah.
Like I just remember like, or I mean the old Bloodstained Nikes. You know, go hard for my fam like it's incest.
I think I used to try and sound hardcore as well. Like I wanted people to think I was hardcore, I was street, and especially being the youngest amongst the SBX guys, they were all so much older than me. So I might have had a complex of sounding like the little kid, like rapping with what I used to think were all these adults, you know, like these fully grown men, and I was like this little kid coming through. So that might have played I can't remember, to be honest with you, but it would sound about right.
Yeah.
I was like trying to find who I was and what is my sound, what do I actually sound like. I would have still been somewhat new to using the Australian accent, so it would have just been like a feeling out process from then. Yeah.
I find it interesting because it's a conversation I had like with Andrew recently. I was talking about like how because I'd sort of, I guess, showed him something, and he was like, I feel like you're trying to go deeper than you need to. And he goes, it's like I've heard people do it, and I feel like you're maybe trying to do it. And obviously he didn't.
He said this about your music.
About what, but I just sort of had sort of. I said to you before I started kind of writing again, and I'm spending a lot more time writing than I am rapping, which is not a great way to go about it.
I disagree. It's a sick way to go about it.
Oh, no, but you need to, I mean, like sonically and like kind of with your vocals, you need to practice.
Oh,
you know
right.
what I mean? And so like I'm spending like probably a little bit more time writing than I should be doing that, because it's cool if it makes sense in your notes, but you obviously need to be able to project it.
For sure.
So I sort of did something, and he went, I feel like you're trying to go a little bit deeper. Is that how you always go about it? And said, well, I sort of used to. I don't really know another way of doing it, I guess. But I guess I do feel like I'm straining a bit to go a little bit deeper. And he goes, well, why don't you try to bring it back a litit bit? And I sort of did. And he goes, well, look, just from my perspective, that sounded a little bit better. He goes, you didn't sound like you were struggling so much, like you were really trying to go deep. And it was really helpful, because he was sort of like, obviously that's just like my 2 cents, but that you might find that helpful. He goes, I think some people, you know, take some time to work that out. And I mean, pretty much what you've just said, man. Like you obviously were in a place where that was how you were doing it, but it's not even that there was anything wrong with that, but you obviously grew into an area where, I mean, it obviously wasn't really how you, I mean, maybe liked sounding, or maybe even how you liked projecting your voice, because you eventually kind of changed it without even probably really addressing it.
I think it would have just been like a natural progression that happened over time. With with confidence comes more comfort, like more self-acceptance. And I think I started to just like ease into like, the gap started to close between me as an artist and me as a human being. And like now they're kind of, you know, they've rolled up into one. So I definitely feel that there's not that much separation between my music as Bitter Belief and me and who I am as Aaron anymore. So, which is a good thing for sure.
Yeah. Like I think sometimes the character thing is a big thing that people get scared of. Like I've had interesting conversations about, like, as a rapper, you kind of want that, but you're obviously at a point now where you're happy to not, I guess, concern yourself with that as much, because you wouldn't be doing podcasts for a start.
100%.
Because you would be like trying to live up this like
overthink it, and
I'm this Bitter Belief character, you know, and you're very different to where you're at. I mean, man, I've got some interesting references here from those old tracks. There was some there was a couple of favorites I had. You made a song called Rockstar that I remember.
Oh my days.
And man, I just remember you saying like, you rhymed like rock star and then said like, I've got bars. And I remember being like 16 going, that's fucking so dope. And like, it wasn't not dope, but it was hilarious how much
I know Silence of the Lambs, I got bars.
Silence of the Lambs, I got bars. I just remember being like, that's next level.
That's
and
pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It's a pretty good line.
It's not even not a good line, but it's like, I guess at the time, like, I just think I was probably like, hyping it up even more so than it needed to be, because I was like, that was so good, you know what I mean? And like I said, it wasn't that it wasn't, but it's like you would probably at least say to yourself now, like, that's not a bad line, but like you would obviously say like, oh, my shit now is better.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? But to me, I think like when you go through that, even listening back to them was just such a spin out. I was like, man, I think I probably heard this track 60 times.
Yeah, okay.
Switch was the other one.
Switch.
You made a cool song where you like switched halfway
Switching
through.
Flows. Yeah.
I always just remember like hadn't heard, that wasn't happening much then.
Yeah.
People weren't really doing that. And I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then probably one of my favorite songs, which I commented on, you put up a post a little while ago saying that you had a talent show at work.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
No, they ended up cancelling it. They didn't get enough interest. They were like, I think myself and maybe one other person were the only people that put ourselves up for it. So I wasn't really keen until I figured out what the prize was. The prize was, if you won, it was like $1,000. I was like, I'll take a $3,000.
Yeah. And
they never ended up doing it. So I felt like saying to him, well, you could just give me the $1,000 and I can perform on the night if you want. It's just one song.
Yeah.
But yeah, what song did you put in there? I can't remember.
Sight to the Blind.
Oh my days. That's a horrible song.
Man, that song's hectic.
It's so hectic.
Do you mind
I used to say some really horrible stuff when I was younger, man. I think it was like a bit of shock rap. I used to really like Necro and Cage and stuff like that. And I really liked just bars that would really shock people. And I'm still like that to this day. I wouldn't do it, but I still like comedy that's just like, oh, it's just like so close to the bone. I just love like pushing the envelope with stuff like that. So back in the day when I had a little bit less self-awareness or social awareness, I'm not sure what you would call it, and no fear, I'll be like, I'm just going to say what the hell I want and see what happens. Well, what are you going to play? Sight to the Blind.
Do you mind if I quote? I've got a quote here. I won't play it. If you want to find it, you can find it on the Thriving.
Is the song about sleeping with someone's missus? But
Yeah,
don't-
so it's, I don't want to be the one to tell you, but your girlfriend's in bed with me.
Oh my God.
But he sung the chorus. It was quite sonically. It sounded cool.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, I think this is at the start of the second verse when you drop in. You say, "I've had it up to here with you chicks. Fuck this. Who want to suck dick? Tough shit. You slut bitch. Talk
Jeez.
shit that you want to suck my nuts with. Get your guts ripped out of the same hole that you fuck with."
Oh my days.
May have fucked up one or two words there, but I think I really captured what was going on in that verse. And I think if you haven't heard it, go and listen to the song because it's the way you say it.
Yeah, I'll
It's
probably
with a lot-
say it with even more conviction, to be honest with you, which is
so much aggression. Yeah, very different to the latest single. You know,
Yes, yeah. I would hope so. If I was still rapping the same old stuff that I did back then. I was on another pod recently talking about how much I hated my old stuff, and it like on reflection, I still got to look back and just. I would love to go and there was a part of me that wanted to go find all that stuff and get it down because I was so ashamed of the stuff I used to say. But I think it's important to keep it out there as like a testament to the growth and to show who I was and what I've come from to where I'm at now. Like I was saying to you before, I think it was all an integral part of my journey and my growth. So it is what it is. It's out there. You know what kind of we live in 2025 where people can go back to something you said a long time ago and hold it against you. Like what it might have been okay for me to say that stuff back then. Like, you know, and the whole landscape's changed, like relating to the stuff you can get away with saying right now. But yeah, sometimes people will like remember Kevin Hart got done. Someone went back and found a tweet that he did like 10 years ago, which no one had a problem with at the time, and then they held it against him and he couldn't do the Oscars or something like that. So but I don't really have much fear of being cancelled. I don't care. We cancel me. We'll cancel what? Like I'm not. You know what I mean? I don't really care. So I figured I just leave it all out there. But still hearing it, it's hard. It's a hard listen. I definitely don't want to listen to the song. And when you isolate it and just like do it like that, and just read it, it sounds even worse.
it sounds pretty bad, but yeah, don't get them taken down because if you haven't heard it, go. You just Bit of Belief, SoundClick. It's all there. There's a whole bunch of great ones there. There's even some other ones that you had like I think it's like Rugged, Rough and Raw. There was like
Rough, Rugged and Raw.
Rough, Rugged and Raw. Sorry. There's the original Party in Perth on there.
That one was bad.
I really liked the one from Isolation, but I remember speaking to someone and they said they liked the original, and I was like, I remember liking the original.
The original's less corny, but it's more hectic. The second one's corny. They're both terrible. The first one is just like hectic. I'm just like, oh my days. Some of the stuff I'm saying, but I actually agree. Their first one's better, but I'm just saying hectic shit. And the second one is like a little bit cheeseball, to be honest with you, because that was at a time where I was just trying to get onto the radio. I thought radio was the answer. I've got to get onto the radio. I've got to do this like party style vibe song. And I did it. And then I never tried to get on the radio again after that. I was like, oh, I look back at it in hindsight, like that song is just so cheesy. But it is what it is. It was a good idea. Like, this is how we party in Perth. It was like a good little tagline, if you will, if you live in the West Coast. And I remember it was like one of Hunter's favorite songs as well. So again, it served its purpose, but I don't love it. If it came on right now, I'd be folding like a lawn chair. I'd be like, oh no.
Oh, I like it. I like Party in Perth. It cranks. I think Isolation in general, like, I feel like you're saying that about Party in Perth. So I don't know how you feel about the rest of that release, but I feel like that's still a great
Isolation
album.
was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some definite bangers on there.
I just remember really enjoying. I'd have to look at the entire track list. I remember really enjoying the Disaster and Draft collab too, because at that point you hadn't made that many songs together.
That was the first. Yeah.
That was the first, was it?
Yeah, I remember like I said, I was rapping with an American accent, and then my mate was like fixing his ute one day. And then I was like sitting in his car and I was like going through his CDs. I was like, man, what's all this? It was like Draft, Downside, Lyrical Commission, Pegs, all this other stuff. I was like, man, what's this? And I put in Who Am I by Draft, and this song came on, You Think. It's called You Think. You think your shit don't stink, you better think twice. I was like, man, this is sick. And then that kind of stuff made me want to change my accent. But I said, where are these guys from? He's like, they're from Perth. I was like, man, I'm going to do a song with these guys one day. And then it ended up coming to fruition. And that was the song, Who Would Want Me Dead.
Yeah, really? Yeah. Did a lot of people want you dead at the time? Or
Well, it was actually Drafto that came up with the concept, I think, from memory.
Really?
Yeah. And Daz came up with the beat and I just did the verse.
you just
we
wanted
kind
to
of
do a
coordinated the hook together. Yeah. And I told him straight out, I've always wanted to do a track with you guys, and they were nice enough to do it for me as a young lad. So
Yeah, that
The
was
Isolation's got some bangers on there.
cranks, man.
Yeah.
It's a.
I was really good at punchlines back then. I feel like I've kind of lost my knack with punchlines a little bit. Like I try to focus more on hooks and melodies and stuff these days. But I used to come up with some real like killer plays on words for sure.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I was going through stuff, trying to like come up with a couple. That's how I came across that, and I noticed that it was a big thing that I noticed. You know, like there isn't as much of it now, but
Man, people barely do it now.
yeah, it's not as much of a thing, right?
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Some people, it's definitely a West Coast thing. Like Perth rappers definitely do it a lot more than the rest of the country for sure.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
punchlines, similes, metaphors, stuff like that. Maybe not metaphors. Metaphors are still a pretty widely used thing, but yeah, punchlines in general and like wordplay, it's definitely a Perth thing for sure.
Yeah, okay. It's a little bit. Yeah, man, the sounds changed so much now as well.
Oh.
It's like, you know, I was talking to someone the other day about this whole take flight situation, right? How they,
Yeah, what is that? I'm off the pulse, man.
So the page got taken down from. There'll be some dickhead who's like, "That's not what happened." Hey, guy in the comments, fuck you. I'm pretty sure this happened. All right.
Yeah.
It's like Take Flight did a poll because they did that competition and they picked finalists or something, which was like Manners, JTZ, a couple other people. And then people voted on the poll. And then I think literally just after that, everything just went down. And I think it's like someone reported their account because they were shitty with the results. Like, you didn't pick my rap.
Wow.
I did a webcam rap and you didn't pick it.
Wow.
They were like super dirty. And I've seen a couple of people talking shit in comments, and I've got a pretty good idea of like who the people that are against it are, and they're just bitter dudes, man.
How do you get a whole page taken down just based off that? Yeah.
I don't know. You think that, and it hasn't come back up yet. They're still on TikTok, YouTube, and everything. So, you know, I'd be spewing if I was Hayden, man. He's put a lot of work into that. You know, had a lot of followers, a lot of engagement. A lot of people supported it. So that would be super frustrating. But, you know, it's a similar situation. You know, it's like,
there's so much ego in hip hop, man. And I try to separate myself from it these days and like try to stay to myself and stay out of all the drama and stuff like that. I even try to stay offline these days and try not to go on social media so much. Like,
this podcast is sponsored by Achievement Apex. Achievement Apex creates some of the best barbells in the world, and they supply some of these barbells to some of the strongest powerlifters and athletes in the world. If you want an Achievement Apex barbell, you can go to achievementapex.com and use the code Poddy for 10% off any order that you make.
Yeah, a lot of people would know that I'm definitely taking a step back from, I'm not quitting doing music by any means, but I would just love to be like this elusive figure that's just over there minding his business, living his family life, and just drops a song every now and then. I'm definitely not going to be like in the mix anymore, like trying to avoid gigs, even trying to avoid going out and just trying to do my thing and lay low, because yeah, I'd rather just stay away from egos and drama and situations like that and just try to stay to myself and simplify life for sure. There's not really much. A lot of people think there's more happiness in stuff like that. There's no happiness in isolating yourself. Don't get me wrong. I've tried that before. And there's definitely a lot of, we're meant to mingle. We're meant to interact with each other for sure. But I just feel like the music industry or the entertainment industry in general, and especially hip hop, there's something about hip hop. It just exacerbates the worst aspects of our nature. And I would rather focus on my family and focus on my faith and focus on my own personal growth rather than be around people that aren't really bringing out the best in me. And I just don't feel like that was happening anymore. So it is what it is, but it's just always just so much drama and so much tension and so much animosity and antipathy amongst people that are just, I like competition. I like sport. I love sport. I like competing, but when it just feels toxic and unhealthy, I'd rather just remove myself from it. And I've tried for a long time to kind of navigate through that, and it's just become obvious that it's like you become your environment. We're very impressionable as human beings, so I would rather be in environments where I feel like I'm going to flourish and, you know, do things that are going to nourish my soul. So it's not there anymore, especially hip hop gigs.
I mean, that was some real shit, man. Yeah, look, I mean, I've never been in the position that you were in, but I kind of just stepped away from it for very similar reasons when I was younger. And it's not that I ever really made a lot of music, but obviously I was a big fan and went to a lot of gigs. And then like same sort of thing. It was just the people that I was around and stuff. Developed some problems with guess I would call it like anxiety, and just went like, I can't really be around this because everything's about drugs and getting fucked up. And I think that's probably going to ruin my life. So I kind of stood away from it. And then it's like, you come back 10 years later, like kind of I have, and I've started doing this again. And then I've like been to 1 or 2 gigs and run into people and been like, man, like you're the same.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's kind of like almost like, I'm almost like sad. I'm almost like, you're actually a pretty good dude back in the day. It sucks that you stayed in that place and didn't try to like kind of grow, because you could have very much done the same thing. Not that you were ever at that point yourself, but obviously, as you said, you've grown a lot than you know who you were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have wanted to still be that person.
No.
The goal is to evolve, right?
Of course.
So yeah.
And I think that like a lot of the industry is very unauthentic and disingenuous. Like I know when you see the other side of the curtain and you know how things actually are or how people actually feel, and then you see how people interact online, you're like, man, I know that you don't, you know what I mean? Like you know that someone doesn't like someone, and then you see them in each other's comments, like bigging each other up. And I'm all for that. Like, great. You know, I'm all for camaraderie and bigging each other up. But when it's unauthentic and disingenuous, I just don't feel like that. And I used to get pulled into doing the same stuff myself. Like, I'm meant to be cool with this guy because I'm meant to, and it's just, there's a lot of, fakeness, for lack of a better term. And I just would walk away feeling like down on myself for like getting pulled into that and like falling into that trap. I would rather be authentic. I would rather be genuine in my love or lack thereof for people. And it just felt like this whole separate world of just, unauthenticity for sure. And I just didn't like the way that it made me feel. I used to walk away feeling dirty about it. And, just like circle jerking and clickiness and stuff like that. So, and it still happens to this day. I'm just trying to remove myself from it for sure. I'd rather be able to go to sleep at night. And I feel like depression is when people are acting a certain way that isn't anywhere in line with their character. Like you're always having to like keep up this act and not being able to be. But I'm by nature, I think all of us are a little bit, but by nature a people pleaser. I've always wanted to be liked. I always want people to like me. And I always thought that to be kind, you have to be a pushover. And I'm trying to learn to like balance the middle ground where I don't want to be an asshole, but I want to be authentic. So if I don't appreciate something, I want to be able to say to someone, hey man, I didn't appreciate that. Or if someone releases a song and I don't like it, I don't have to comment and go, this is sick if I don't feel like it's sick. And there's a lot of that happens, bro. So I'm just trying to, as long as I can live with myself at the end of the day and going, cool, you were authentic today. You didn't do anything that was like out of character. Then I'm cool. Then I'm cool. That's success for me. I'd rather that than like drive my numbers up online by being cool with people that I'm not really cool with, or looking like I'm friends with people I'm not really friends with. So
I fuck with that, man. Yeah, I feel that a lot.
Yeah.
It's since I started this, it's been a little bit hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes people reach out and they're like, "Hey, man," and I'm like,
No.
I don't. You know, it seems to be a lot as well. The people that sort of big themselves up, and a lot of that's going on. Is the people that aren't doing that well.
It's funny you say that. It's always the people that, because I know I used to say that, like, man, these people or this guy has a bigger ego and sense of self than, you meet someone like Suffer from the Hoods or this person, and they seem to have smaller egos than this guy over here who's got like 1,000 followers or whatever. But I feel like there's like a growth phase that you go through. Like when it first starts happening for you, or you start going, oh, wait, people care. I'm getting props, and like you start basing your own self-worth on what other people are telling you about yourself. And I think it's just a phase you have to go through where you realize, actually, no, this isn't, like I was saying before, this isn't nourishing. This is actually like quite misleading. Or if you start bigging yourself up and basing your self-worth on what other people think of you, then when that starts to go quiet and people aren't bigging you up as much anymore, you start to go, oh, am I good enough? Like, people aren't telling me how great I am anymore. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like you should derive your own self-worth based on what other people think of you. And I'm really trying to teach myself that what other people think of me is none of my business, and not to base the way I live my life on impressing other people. And that's what's kind of led me back to God, is that when I've lived my life for myself, trying to please myself. And I've lived my life trying to please others, like in a way that I thought would please other people. And both of them things led me to misery, led me to just be depressed and anxious and worrying and an insomniac and a drug user and things like this. And it just led me to emptiness and nihilism. I was like, what is the use of life just to make people like me? And then none of that made me happy. None of that nourished my soul, like I was saying before. I was just like dead inside. And then now I just like, I try to live in service to God, and I try to live in service to try to understand that there is something greater than me, that this like small manifestation of our thoughts, like, our senses, these 5 gateways into our reality, is very limited. It's a very limited realm that we live in. And like this life is like a speck of sand on a beach of eternity. So I try not to put too much like emphasis on life and what other people think of me, and just understand that as long as I live in alignment with where I feel like God is pulling me, the direction that He's pulling me, and I try to like listen to what He's trying to tell me through like other people or through experiences or through whatever it may be, then I just like try to stay aware of what's going on around me, and like listen to signs and just like try things and just see what works, see what fills the void inside of me. And for the time being, it's the time with my family, like spending time in nature. Like the drive here was like really nice. I'm like listening to like country music and like looking around and just like, and that's the other thing about finding God and just understanding that like this is, I look at things and I'm like, we're just like the best artist of all time is God. Like, look at this. There was like a rainbow that just appeared in front of me and then it disappeared before I knew it. I'm like, man, what is a rainbow? I know the rainbow's kind of been hijacked these days, but I was like, it's brought me to like this sense of childish wonder again. I'm like, I don't take things for granted. I'm driving here looking at this picturesque. I always thought, you know what Rockingham is affiliated with? Rockingham and like down here is affiliated with just like ghetto. I'm like, man, it's beautiful down here. I was like, coming down Kwinana, is it Kwinana Highway or whatever it is?
Yeah,
like, just, I love the color green. I love nature. I love just being in nature. I love the beach. I love the ocean. And I'm just like trying to get back to the simpler things in life and not like chase happiness in places that lead me to misery all the time. Sorry, that was a bit of a.
No, it's cool, man. Because
bit
it's
carried away.
like, here's the thing, right? You could have just, you can put it on and kind of just say everything we want to hear and talk about music or whatever it is. But to me, this is, it's like it's about like connection. So I went on my own kind of thing to work that out myself as well, and just kind of realizing that I've had that same problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes I even have that issue with this, right? Because it's like fucking podcasts everywhere. I'm doing something different that people aren't doing, or I was doing lots of ones with people in the fitness industry, which is like, fuck, just as bad as the music industry.
Oh, I can
probably
imagine,
people are
yeah.
so focused
That'd
on
be
them,
similar. Yeah,
so focused on themselves, and yeah, it's just this sort of thing where I was like, that's boring to me now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start doing some of this stuff because I love this shit. And it just got to a point where I was like, I don't even care if no one listens to these.
Yeah,
I'm getting to
that's
speak
a
to,
great place to be in.
man, I just want to speak to people that I listen to and people that I've had, respect for. And I just like, it's so cool to be able to chat to you, to think that it's just at one point you probably do get it, right? Because you would feel this way. You're still a big fan of Joe Budden. I remember back in the day you liked Joe Budden.
I was like, he's
maybe not as a person
he's done
now.
some strange things.
Super
lately.
negative guy now.
He's very negative, very.
But
there was a time in my life where I was negative, and I feel like either he made me more negative, or I was drawn to him because I was negative, and I was like had that very, very victim mentality, which he just like. He's the biggest victim ever, Joe Budden. So I was really relating to him at a certain time in my life. And I don't know if I loved him because of the way that I was, or if I was the way I was because I listened to stuff like that. I don't know. But I just know that at the time I was like, man, this guy is speaking my language,
Yeah. Well, but he was an example, I guess, because it was like you were you have this weird thing. I don't even know what to call it. When someone's a character to you, you feel like they're above you or separate from you or whatever like that. Yeah. And it's like, they're just fucking not. Like, we're all just people, right? But you just have this actors, and I've heard you talk about celebrities and stuff before, and your opinion on that. Like, we separate ourselves and we look at this person like as if Brad Pitt was in this room right now. We would feel like we wouldn't just feel like there was a dude in this room.
Oh my God, he's real.
It's
like,
Brad Pitt. Yeah. And it's
like an aura surrounding him. Yeah.
Right. And then it's like, if we were sitting here talking about something that maybe he couldn't engage in. Let's say we started talking about hip hop, right? Brad Pitt has no fucking idea about. Who knows? Maybe Brad Pitt's driving around listening to Bit of Belief, Draft, and Disaster and shit. That'd be wicked. But he would just have nothing to contribute to the conversation. And for like a brief moment, we would be talking about it, and it would just feel like this guy had nothing to contribute to a situation. But we somehow have this like thing in our head that he would always be able to contribute everything to everything because it's Brad Pitt. Like he's this like
on a
person,
pedestal. Yeah.
and it's like it's nothing like that. And I think that's something that gets created even in this industry. And as we were talking about before, how weird some people can be when they're sort of telling stories about you or someone else because they've done that, right? You're this person to them that they'll be like, oh, Blue Leaf was at my friend's party, and you're like, I wasn't at your friend's party.
It makes people really weird, man.
It makes people weird.
Yeah,
right?
and I remember I went through a phase where I really didn't like it. Like I was probably, I don't know, music was doing all right to the point where people would recognize you in public and come up to you, and it made me really feel really like, I don't know, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like sometimes people would come up to me and not know what to say, or they'd stand there going, I can't believe it's you, and I was just like, I don't want people to see me like that. I don't want people to treat me like that. I don't want to have these kind of conversations where someone's just like a deer in the headlights. Like, I don't know what to say to this guy. Because people will come up to me sometimes and say, what up? And then it's so awkward that I'm stuck trying to like steer the conversation and like come up with these talking points. And I just wouldn't like how foreign that made me feel, or like alienated. I'd be like, man, I'm just like you. If not, I'm probably worse. Do you know, like don't put me above you. You should put me below you, because I do. And so if only they knew, and I'm sure, like you said, if Brad Pitt was here right now, we would think that there's nothing. His life is amazing, but when Brad Pitt is alone and he's looking in that mirror and he's looking in his eyes, I don't think he is any, like, he can't avoid emptiness any better than we can, and he can't avoid like self-deprecation. They probably do it worse. They're probably more empty than us because they've just reached these heights where everything's so available to them. That's why I think that these people that are like the billionaire boys club, they just start doing hectic shit like like the kiddie stuff. That's like, exactly right. Yeah. Because it's just like, oh my God, I've achieved and obtained all of these material things. I have the world at my fingertips. I can have whatever I want, whenever I want it. So that you've just got to always level up. And that's what the acquisition of materialism does to people. It's just like, you're constantly chasing this, like, it's like drugs, right? If we used drugs like right now that we never use, it's going to smash us. But the more and more we use it, you build up this tolerance, and you need, cool, well, we got to go to this drug now. We've got to combine these two drugs together. Now we've got to have these drugs and then get some hookers in here and do that. And then like, it's got to be more and more and more and more. So I think the thing that you do, it's not about obtaining everything. It's about realizing that you need nothing, that you don't need anything. And that's why I said to you before, I'm trying to simplify life. I'd rather just sit in silence on the beach these days rather than cruise around in a car, like doing drugs and like chasing chicks and stuff. Obviously, I'm married with kids. Like, that life doesn't really align with me anymore. But I hear people living that, even some of my friends now. Like, obviously Greasy's young and he's living that life now. And so he should. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, I'm not on a pedestal saying you should be living like this. Like, no, he's young and he's in his 20s. He needs to go through the same phases that I went through. But sometimes when I see like videos of him running amok or whatever, there's not one part of me that goes, I want to be there. I wish I could go live that again. Absolutely not. It does not look desirable to me whatsoever anymore. But like, he should definitely do it, because and that's the best thing about being married for me with kids is like, I don't feel like I've left any stone unturned. I don't feel like there was a life that I didn't get to live. I lived my life to the fullest. I did all the things that made me realize they weren't going to bring me happiness. And then I've got to come out on the other end of that with no wonder, with no curiosity. Like, did I miss out on anything? Nah, you ticked all them boxes and they led you to misery. So now you've got this feeling of fulfillment and satisfaction that you always wanted and you thought were in all these other places. And you've just proven to yourself they weren't, that it was just here waiting for me all along, that it was my faith and God and family and nature and peace. This is where I found peace. I never thought I'd find peace here. So
yeah, I think the way you've put it's made it really interesting to think about, because it's almost like we start with nothing, right? Being kids or whatever, and then we're slowly introduced to things and we're developing and learning and stuff. And we start with that kind of our body, nature, like it's all we have initially, right? It's all we kind of really understand and know. Like a baby sees a fucking bird and it's like, oh my God, look at that thing, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so everything's crazy. And then we slowly start to become materialistic without really trying to, because, especially kids these days, right? They're getting given like, here's an iPad or whatever like this. And, and it becomes really, really hard. And then I think eventually, as you said, people will sort of get to a point where I guess they work it out themselves and they can come away from it, but you learn that that's not doing it for you,
No.
right? And then eventually, it's like the only way to actually get happy is through this massive long journey that you go through, whether it's 20 years or 5. You end up kind of reverting back to that. Oh, I need to be like I kind of was initially again,
Mhm.
and so you kind of can't help that the material, like the materialistic stuff comes into it, but you will always end up kind of craving the, I guess, like I don't even know what to call it, like the organic material that you kind of have as a human being. And that's like, I went through, we hold a men's group here. We held one this morning, right? And
Sick.
that was like the weirdest thing for me, man, to just sit in a like room full of dudes and kind of just talk about like, man, I feel like super anxious about this. I had like a conversation with someone the other day.
Man, that's
and
dope, dude. That's
you're
awesome.
like that's so, but it's like crazy, right? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love hearing that reaction because people go like, oh, it's wicked that you're doing that. But it was
Mm.
like 5 years ago, man, I'd been like, I'm never fucking doing that.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
weird, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but you do it and you have someone in front of you who's like, some of the guys in it might be even older than you, or they might 45 years, and they're talking about something, and I'm struggling with this at work or something like that. And it's like, in doing that shit we're talking about is like out of the way. This,
Mhm.
like, I have to pretend everything's all good, or I want
Mm.
people to like me, or like
Mm.
all that's gone. It's like a dude just being like, man, this is fucking me up. And then someone
Yeah.
else going, hey man, sometimes that shit fucks me up. And then
Yeah.
you can all just relate.
Yeah.
And like, this is why we watch like stand-up comedy, like
Mm.
anything, music's a big one. A lot of the time that shit's because we relate to it.
We're chasing relatability.
We're
yeah.
chasing relatability. Reaction videos are a perfect example of that now. I
For sure,
I remember hating them initially,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and now I watch them.
Yeah, I love them. It's weird watching them on yourself, for sure.
Oh,
but
that'd
it's
be
also
weird,
kind of cool because when you see them pick up on stuff, sometimes I write lines and I'm like, I wonder if anyone's ever going to pick up on that. But when you hear people pick up on it, you're like, sick, they got it.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But going back to what you were saying, is like, I think it's like a conditioning thing. You get conditioned to. Even when I first started going to church, I was like, "This is a bit weird. I don't know about this." Like, people got their hands up praising God, and I'd be like, I'm not putting my hands up." And then because it's always been told to me that that's kind of weird behavior. And then the more I go to church, the more I'm like, it changes the perspective on it. It's like, what's weird about it? It's so these people are humbling themselves before their creator. Like we're all a creation. We're living a creation. There's a creator who is God, and then these people are humbling themselves, and they don't care what anybody's thinking of them. They just care that they're there to do that. And then the more I go, and the more these things seem more and more normal to me. It's like with that, it's never really been normal for guys to be vulnerable and be open like that. And we've kind of historically always been told that we should mask our emotions and and bury our vulnerability. But the more you get around guys and you start doing it, you watch the next men's group will feel a little bit more comfortable and easy. The one after that, and next thing you know, everyone's just like, boom, everything's on the table from the rip. No one even needs to like ease into it, and it's because you're building that confidence, you're building that comfort to go. It's like public speaking, you know what I mean? Everyone's terrified of public speaking. The more you do it, you're like, oh, you get down. It was when I first started doing shows, I was like terrified. And then the more I did it, I was like, oh man, I'm never going to die doing this. Like, it's okay, and you get a rush and you just want to do it more and more. You want to do it again and again. So it's all conditioning and what we get used to. And we're made to believe that these things are weird or nerdy or it's not cool or this and that and the other. And as you get older, you're just like, I don't care. I don't want to be cool. I don't want to be considered cool by other people if by myself I'm considered unauthentic and disingenuous. So
Yeah, I think the way you nailed it before is like, if you survive on that, it's not like a renewable energy, you know. It's like it goes away at some point, and so it's a really unhealthy way to end up being. It's the same as like affirmation with females, something like
Yeah.
that, or you know what I mean. Like, you just, oh man, that was a bad part of my past, you know, where it was like way too much of a focus for me, and just like value. You know what I mean? It's just like needing to feel that, and
Of
it was
course.
kind of, and it was just like, and then and working out kind of did two things. It sort of made it better, but then worse again, because I'm like, oh well, now I want to someone to care that I'm in shape. And I was
Yeah.
like, why the fuck do I care if
Yeah, I
anyone
know.
cares? You
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, it's a hard, you know, but the
I'm
religion.
feeling the same. Like I'm like, you start to get a comment here or there, and then you're like, oh, I want more comments. I want more acceptance. But this is how we are as human beings. We all go through that, and we're all feeling it. And I think it's just about that self-awareness, keeping ourselves in check, being reflective. And I always remember historically, all of my friends were like, you know, either hardcore dudes or bogan kind of Aussie dudes. And like the way I am, I'm a very deep thinker. And for a while, I was like shaming myself out. Like they'd be like, man, what do you care about? What do you fucking care? Who cares? Like, and I'd be going, yeah, why do I care? And I used to just like start pushing down the fact that I wanted to discuss all these deep topics and like, you know, I was interested in spirituality or, you know, consciousness or this, that, and the other. And, you know, people were like, what do you care? And then eventually I was like, no, I do care. That's who I am. Like, I'm not going to pretend I'm not just so I don't seem like the guy that cares when he shouldn't care. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not apathetic in that sense. I'm interested in these things. I'm interested in psychology. I'm interested in people and getting to know why people do this and that. I'm interested in politics sometimes. I'm interested in, you know, myself and the way I act. So yeah, I just like try not to let people shame me out of being myself anymore.
This podcast is sponsored by Test Australia. If you plan on using or are currently using performance enhancing drugs, it is very important that you make sure you are doing so, having them been tested before you use them or while you are using them to make sure that you take care of your health. And you can also recommend that the people around you do so as well. Go to Test Australia on Instagram to find out more about the details on how you can test your current performance enhancing drugs that you are using, or you can find out more about testing other compounds or things that you are putting in your body if you would like to make sure that you take care of your health. Love that,
For
man.
lack of a better term, yeah.
It's I'm glad that you went through it, and I'm glad that I went through it earlier because
Yeah, how old are you?
Yeah, 29.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm like, you say nice, and I'm like, yeah, but then it's like I started so early, man, that I think that's like I when I was like 19, 20, it was like my body was just like, oh, like, you know, doing fucking drugs since you were like 12. Here's all the side effects from it. And I was just like a nervous wreck and like hell bat. And so as much as that sucked, it's allowed me to now be like 29 and people are like, oh,
great.
cool, man, you're doing well. And it's like, yeah, well, like I love that. But it's like a cost thing where it's like I'm doing well now because I started so early. Otherwise I'd maybe be like closer to your age and now going through it again.
Exactly.
You know, it's a hard one, but it made life become really hard to understand from a point of like not having drugs, because drugs became such a big focus, and obviously they control a lot of our feelings. Used to, you know, say like you used to drink a lot and stuff like that. When you do that, you rely on that shit, and it's like you know, these conversations like man, remember the conversations you'd have sometimes when you were pissed at people?
Oh man,
you'd like wake up the next morning and be like embarrassed. You're like, oh my god, we talked about something that we probably should have just
drugs
talked about
even
anyway.
Also, drugs are worse than alcohol like that.
It
depends. Yeah,
uppers can make some weird shit happen.
Yeah. Some of the conversations you'd have, and then and don't get me wrong, I've, you know, even into my 30s, mid 30s, and you know, I've still had slip ups and stuff ups and phases, and like I remember like when Coke started becoming a big thing in Perth, like it's not, I'm not Mr. Perfect, and I've had, like I said, I'm in the music industry, and again, this is why I'm like stepping back from it, because I know that I am like, you know, we're all a little bit miserable inside. So if someone's in front of you going, here, do you want this like immediate remedy that's going to make you feel awesome straight away? Everyone's going to go, yeah, let's go. Like, and most of the time I'll say no. But if I've got a few drinks in me and someone's like, hey man, you want a little rack of Charles? I'm going to do it. It's like, I just know what I'm like. So I'm going to keep myself removed from the possibility of that. And it's nothing against them. If that's your story, that's on your journey. I believe that everybody's exactly where they're meant to be for, you know, what they're meant to be going through in their story. So I don't judge anybody for what they're doing. I want the best for everybody, but at the same time, I'm like, again, two things can be true. It's fine that you're doing that if that's what you decide. As long as if you're doing stuff and then saying to me, I'm miserable, I'm going to put a mirror in your face and go, well, this is probably why, bro. Like, if you need my help, when people come to me these days, I try to say like, are you coming to me to vent or do you want my actual advice? Because they're two very different conversations. If you want me to shut up and just let you get this off, go for it. I'm all ears. Like, but if you want my advice, I'm going to be honest. So, you know, you need to make sure you actually want my advice and not tell you what you want to hear. So I try to establish that from the rip these days, but also like, do you, if you need to go through that to learn your lesson and figure it out, then do it. But if you're going to ask me for my opinion, your misery and that are probably pretty intimately linked towards it to each other. You know what I mean? So I try not to judge, and I just try to go, not for me. I'm trying to stay away from that. I don't trust myself to be honest.
Yeah, I never understood the big thing with coke. Hey, I already talk enough. I love talking. I
Yeah.
love conversation. So coke and me don't go together well because
I'm not an uppers guy anyway. I prefer weed, to be honest. The weed has always been my thing. I try to stay away from the weed, man. Like even now with my insomnia, I get this thing called restless leg syndrome. People are like, have you tried like medicinal? And I'm like, I get that now because it's medicinal. Everyone thinks that, oh, then it's okay. You can have as much as you want. It's like, I don't think people are honest with themselves about weed sometimes, that weed is addictive and weed is like much more insidious than the other drugs in the sense that it'll like really slowly fuck up your life, do you know what I mean? If you're not doing it sensibly. Like, I know some people that just have a joint before bed every night and they don't drink alcohol. It's like, cool, do you? But if you're waking up and you're ripping billies straight off, you know what I mean, before you have your Cheerios in the morning, or you know, and then you go to work, or you can't live without it, like some of my
Cheerios.
friends. It's not even an Australian.
I was going to say
cereal.
the Montana came out in you then. That's Look, I that was my main problem. That was like weird. And the funny thing is, man, is it's meant to be the relaxer drug, and then I mean, I smoked it for like 11 years, and then one day my body just went, "Oi,
Stop it."
here's a mad panic attack."
Yeah,
you had one of
yeah,
these
right.
before, and I was like, "Oh, wicked."
Yeah, they'll scare the shit out of you.
Couldn't. Honestly, I haven't been able to smoke it since, bro. Tried a couple times.
Cool.
Just end up in the shower like I don't feel fucking good.
Yeah.
And it's like to do something for 10 years and feel fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we all got
Again, that's that tolerance thing, eh? Yeah.
like you said, man, it'll eventually fuck you up slowly, and in a lot of ways too. Like I think you just end up being like it does turn you into a bit of a dumb cunt. People sort of act like, oh, it does, and it's just like, man, I think to me, like it definitely fucked like my memory a lot, and just gotten to a point where like you just notice it, you feel cloudier and stuff. I remember just coming off it and like 6 months down the track, being like,
whoa,
fuck, I can fucking think so much clearly.
Oh, not even 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I was, and I feel like the bongs definitely don't help. Joints are probably better, and mixing it with backy definitely doesn't help. Like smoking green's definitely better.
But now you can vape it.
And now you can vape it, which is probably better than all of it, to be honest. But
maybe
I just the other thing is the motivation for me. Like when I was a stoner, it just killed all of my energy, my motivation. I just didn't want to. And now, like, I just want to contribute to something, you know, and I want to take part in something. It's not even about legacy anymore. I just want to be involved. I want to be like, just be, like I said, contributing something in some way. I want to have a sense of purpose. And like nihilism drove me crazy when I started thinking like, is there any use for anything? Like, does anything mean anything at the end of the day? If we're all going to be, you know, like they say, however, like 20 years after you die, do you know what I mean? Like no one's even talking about, even if you are like at the epitome of being famous, unless you're like a Michael Jackson or something like that, or Elvis, or someone that's just like insanely famous.
Those guys are not the greatest examples too,
exactly
because now people are talking about him for the wrong
in a bad
reasons.
way. Yeah,
even
yeah.
Elvis, man, you know, people used to never say a bad word about him. It's different now.
Yeah,
but I know what you mean. That's a big part of it. The religion side interests me because have you always been religious?
I kind of grew up in a Christian. My mum's side of the family are Christians, and I remember going to church and stuff when I was a kid, and going to like the kids area and like the kids thing while they actually went to service. My dad's family are all Catholics, which is which is a denomination of Christianity anyway. But my dad's family aren't like, some of them practice it and take it seriously, some don't. Same with my mum's side. They say they're Christians, but how often they read their Bible and they don't go to church and stuff like that. So it's always been around me, and I've always been a spiritually curious guy. I remember I was like delving into Buddhism, you know, a few years ago, and I became a part of the new age spiritual world, like the yoga, the meditation, the mindfulness, like all that stuff. Like I was wearing the beads, and like, you know, I had like the salt lamps and incense, and like I was doing all that stuff. And again, I was just trying to find peace. I was just like, my brother said to me recently, he's like, oh, you're a Christian now. He's like, is this your next phase, is it? And I thought about it, and like, it kind of annoyed me, but then I thought, no, I do go through phases. That's why I say in that Heaven song, I go through phases. And it's like, but you can look at it like, oh, it's just another phase. Or you can look at it like, this guy's trying everything to figure out what works and what sticks. And I honestly feel like I say, you know, hand on heart, I feel like I've found that. And I feel like, put it this way, before, when I was part of that spiritual world, they teach like, and Buddhism does it as well, they teach surrender and they teach gratitude and things like this. But then after a while, it's like, cool, I can surrender, but who am I surrendering to? What am I surrendering to? Cool, I can have gratitude and be grateful, but who am I grateful to? Who am I thanking for my amazing life? Who am I thanking for? Like I said before on the drive here, I was like, man, thank you. I'm just so grateful that we just get to enjoy this amazing art every day, which is what when your mind is looking at some like picturesque landscape and really enjoying it, and it's like firing off in your brain, you're experiencing art that is made for me by what I call God. I used to call it the universe, but I'm like, how did the universe create the universe? Like that stopped making sense to me.
So the
So
science stuff doesn't do it for you.
well, I believe in science, obviously, but what do they say? They say that if you learn enough about science, you'll doubt God, or you don't think God is true. If you learn enough about science, you start to know that God has to be true. I was saying this to my wife last night. If you just take the human eyeball, even like it's just so, I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. I remember reading that once. I was like, what does that mean? And like to have faith in the fact that there was just this random big explosion, and then what came out of it was just like absolute order of perfection. Like, like the eyes are such a complicated and complex thing. And there's so many other things you can use as an example, but I think the eyes are a really good one. That scientists, when they break it down, they're like, this is created by design. This wasn't an accident. This is created by design, fit for a purpose. And when I started breaking that stuff down, I started going, Einstein says you can either believe that everything is coincidence or everything is a miracle. Or no, you can either believe that nothing is a miracle or everything is. There is no like middle ground there. And so like my new perspective is everything is a miracle. And again, like I said to you before, that just makes me so much more grateful in every moment that I'm just constantly experiencing miracles. But again, the conditioning thing, like, so you walk past a plant, you're like, there's a plant. That's what your brain's telling you. But when you just like realize all the contributing factors that go into the growth of a plant, like photosynthesis and all these other things, these are things are miracles. And we should look at them as they are. So I just constantly walk around with gratitude for the fact that I get to experience these miracles that are in front of me all day, every day. When I watch my son grow inside of my wife and then come out of her and then just start to experience external phenomena in the world and then just slowly become more and more accustomed to it, and I'm just watching him grow, it's just like these things are all miracles that we take for granted because we see them so often. We're conditioned by them. And I'm trying to strip back all of that conditioning and trying to like remove them layers of just, I see this every day. So it's just the way things are. And I just like, it's a game changer of a perspective shift, to be honest with you. It's changed the way I view life, my interaction with others. It's made me more patient and just made me a better person to be around, to be honest with you. You can ask anybody. Even my wife doesn't believe in God, but she's like, there's no doubt that this is having a pretty profound impact on me. And I'm grateful for that in itself as well. But yeah, they're going back to having enough faith to be an atheist. I was just like, wow. Like, yeah, you would have to have a lot of faith to just think that all these things just coincidentally happened. Like that we are living a creation and we are a creation, but there is no creator. That like life is, the dance, and then God is the music, or like however you want to put it. They say that, I read this somewhere, or they said it in church, that you don't realize who you are until you realize whose you are. And now I know that I belong to something, and that something wants the best for me and wants me to grow and feel love and to give love. It's a massive perspective shift for myself. And they say the other thing they said in church the other day was the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and then the day you figure out why. And I feel like I've figured out why I am here, and it's to try and spread love and try to, every person I come across, I want them to walk away saying my life is better because of that interaction I had with that guy. Like I feel better, I feel more positive, I feel more loving, and I've received love from that guy. And like I still have to catch myself, but all of the hatred and anger and everything that I had in my heart is like evaporating day by day, more and more. So I'm not going to turn around and stop until like, as long as it's helping me the way it is, then great. And it's making me selfless. I'm trying to always look to put myself last now. And like, I used to think like chasing my personal preference is what's going to make me happy. If I can control everything around me to my personal preference to make me happy, then I'll be happy. And it's like, no, that just led me to be miserable when I realized I couldn't control everything around me. There's so much out of my control that now I'm like, cool, whatever's meant to be will be. I don't have to control everything around me anymore, which is a pretty relieving thing to understand, right? So yeah, it's just made me much less angry and bitter all the time. Like, part of me even wants to change my name because I walk around, people call me bitter. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be called bitter. I'm not bitter anymore. It's like I said before, it's disintegrating inside of me. It's evaporating, all that bitterness, all of that hostility and anxiety and all of that stuff. I just feel it evaporating day on day. So just going to see where it takes me. I surrendered to God. I just, every day in prayer, I say, I submit, I surrender 100%. You take the wheel because I trust you. And wherever, even if it's going through like times of like tempestuous and turbulent times, I'm like, whatever, this is what I'm meant to go through right now. We're going to get on the other side of it, and it's going to, I would have grown from it. So I'm going through this for a reason. No matter what kind of suffering it is, I'm going to have to wait till I go through some real suffering to realize, like, it's going to test my faith, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
I've always had a lot of respect, or like, I don't know what to call it, almost envy for religion, because I think it must be nice to have faith and to have something. The way you describe it sounds great. I was like a only child, and a couple of years ago my mum died, and that's been like kind of lonely. And I feel like when it comes to religion, I sometimes think like, fuck, it would be sick to not feel that. My partner's really great, and my brothers are awesome and stuff, but there's like that something missing now.
Yeah.
It's like she was my creator, right? We spent a lot of time together. So part of the time I'm like, it'd be really nice to like have something like that. The only time I've ever prayed is when she died, and I haven't done it since, and it doesn't resonate with me, and it sucks because I hear you talk about it and I'm like, it sounds great. Don't get me wrong, there's a level of like, there's some people online and stuff that are kind of into it now, and like there's always going to be a level of it when people are maybe like pretty full on about it, that like as someone who isn't into it, you're like, fuck, all right, it's enough religion stuff, especially religion, because religion is like, to me, I'm not going to put it in there with this because religion, I wouldn't like put it in with this, but to me it's like if I have a mate who's like a bit of like a conspiracy theorist or whatever. It's like believe whatever you want, but like if every time I catch up with he's like fucking COVID, bro,
ramming it down my throat.
I'm like, oh, bro, like come like,
For sure.
ugh. But you can't really relate those two things. Religions, I feel like for the most part, is more positive. But
well, I think when people are ramming it down your throat, they think that, I always try to look at people's intention, and I agree with you. And I was like, sometimes I feel like there's a way, if you are trying to get people on board, or you're trying to show people, hey, like I've got the answer to all your suffering, you've got to approach it with tact. Because if you just come full steam ahead, ramming it down someone's throat, saying, you need to do this, you need to come to Christ, and like, it's not going to work. People are going to put up there like, yo, back up, man. Like, you know what I mean? So we should, and nothing in...
This podcast is sponsored by Bulk Gym Chalk. Do you struggle to hold on to your deadlifts? If so, it can be very important to make sure that you have good quality chalk and access to that chalk. So go to Bulk Gym Chalk. You can find them on Instagram and get yourself some good quality chalk so that you can make sure that you can train in the gym and get the best out of your training while doing so.
We should lead by example. Like, I just want people to, if people are going to come to that through me, let it be because they see the change in me, not because of like, you've got to do this, stop, you know what I mean? Like, it's never going to work with people. So, but I agree.
Do you struggle like with, you've talked about some of the stuff with science, right? And like, getting to a point where I was like, well, this doesn't make sense, right? That's where I feel like a lot of the time with religion, right? Because like I had a doctor that I've gone to for years, right? He like delivered me, he must be 75 now, right? I used to see him all the time. We had a conversation like a couple of years ago, right? And I sort of said something, and he's very religious, right? And I said, so like, I just out of curiosity, I'm kind of, do you struggle like with this job? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're a doctor, kind of one of the most sciencey jobs you can do. There's miracles and then there's just science, right? Have you ever struggled just in terms of like figuring that out? It must be kind of a conflicting field to be in, right? Someone who's like a fucking dump truck driver doesn't have conflicting feelings. They can just be religious. It's not like the dump truck makes them question stuff. So to me, I'm like, do you struggle with that? And he goes, no. And I said, well, if someone doesn't have cancer anymore, at what point do you say to yourself, all right, well, we helped that person. Now they don't have cancer and we help them cure it. And what point was that a miracle? How do you even differentiate between what really happened? Because it wasn't a miracle and it was a scientific thing. And he goes, well, sometimes there's miracles and sometimes there's not. And I said, I struggle with that a bit. So what about something as simple as like the Bible? Like, do you have your own relationship with God? Because like you would say to me that people being monkeys is like silly, right? And he was just like, well, yeah. He goes, you really think people were monkeys? I said, you really think a snake can talk? And he goes, well, just because that's written somewhere doesn't mean I resonate with that. And so that's the part I'm interested in a lot of the time with people, right? Because you've got a realist energy about you. You're always, you're just the kind of person who I can tell is pretty like if I told you there was a magic beanstalk outside, you wouldn't believe me, right? So to me, there's a level of religion, and I remember my mum actually saying it to me once that she felt like there was God, but not in the same way that other people did. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Either you do or you don't. Have you even read the Bible? She goes, I just have my own relationship with it. And she goes, and that's just what it is. I don't need you to understand it. She goes, I believe there's something more. And it's not necessarily, I wouldn't go and hang out with people who were Lutheran or Catholic or something and resonate with what they feel, but I have my own feelings with it. And so to me, when you say something like, oh, the Big Bang doesn't make sense, I'm like, well, what about some of that other stuff in the Bible that
totally
doesn't?
And I to that, I would say, of course, there's definitely, faith is something that you wrestle with for sure, because you, like, it's called faith for a reason, because, like, you don't know. But I feel like the more I go down this path, the more I start to, it's a feeling of knowing. It's like, oh, like, I can't explain it. But there's things in the Bible that I wrestle with for sure. But I also think that we're so far removed from when the Bible was written that we don't know how much of that was written to be metaphorical. Like, some of the stories in there, are they written to, like, be there as stories that, like, explain a bigger picture and teach life lessons and stuff like that?
I have heard this about, like, interpretation. Like, this is the only argument. Not argument, but this is the only kind of, like,
the Bible is such a conflicting, like, it is very a dividing book, because number one, it's the most important book of all time. Whether you've ever read a word in the Bible before, it has shaped your life in some kind of way, because a lot of our laws are based on it. Like, a lot of when people say that Jesus didn't even exist, I'm like, then what are we counting from? Like, when did people start counting? We're at 2025 now, and it's AD. It's after the death of Christ. So it's like, then when did we start? Sorry, Anno Domini. That is actually what AD stands for, which is after the birth of Christ. So
this doesn't necessarily mean that this guy walked on water or turned water to wine.
No.
That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what happened, right?
No. And we're like, well, I believe that it does in a sense, but it's also, so this goes back to what I was saying before about our senses and us thinking that, like, everything that thinking with our logical brains, like, I don't trust my brain, and my brain has, like, led me to be incorrect many times before, whether it be in situations, conflict with people, whether it be in, like, trying to be logical about stuff. I've been wrong many a times before, even though my brain told me I was right. So I think for us to just rely solely on what our brain can teach us, and to think that this is, like, what we can see, touch, smell, hear, taste, all that stuff is the limit of what is actually possible, is almost arrogant on our behalf to say that. So there's that. But then going back to your question, I definitely wrestle with some of the stuff in there, for sure, definitely. But I think that you're meant to wrestle with God. You're meant to wrestle with faith. You're meant to wrestle with, and that's why it's called faith, because there's stuff in there that's constantly testing your faith. But there's also so much wisdom in there that I'm taking from it that's changing my life. Even just reading it itself, it just has an impact on you. There's something in them pages. There's something in that is having an impact on me. I'm still, like, I would consider it early days. It's been like a year since I had this experience that I had on the beach that I've spoken about before. So, and it's been a slow journey. So I'm still learning. I'm still learning to answer that question for myself, to be honest with you. But I just, like, you said before, when you prayed, didn't feel normal. It felt foreign. It felt weird. And it did for me too. Like I said, when I first started going to church, it felt weird and foreign too. But again, it's just like, that felt weird and foreign for you upstairs earlier with the boys and being vulnerable. It's like, the more you do something, the less weird it feels. Like, when we were younger and we started smoking cigarettes, it would have been like, oh, this feels weird. Like, and then just after a while, it's just like, yeah, I'm a smoker. I'm just, like, smoking a pack a day. Like, everything new feels weird at first. So I'm just allowing myself to just take it bit at a time, like, not trying to just jump straight into it. Like, some people would think that this has just been like a overnight thing for me, but I just wasn't super vocal about it from the jump, because I was testing the waters first, learning as much as I could first before I made my decision on where I wanted to go with it. So, and I'm still learning, I'm still figuring out things for myself as well, but I'm just super open-minded about it. But there's nothing in the New Testament that I wrestle with at all. There's stuff in the Old Testament, like the story of Noah's Ark and the story of Moses parting the seas, and what happened, the conflict in Egypt, and getting the Israelites out of Egypt, and the way that God did it, and things like that. Like, there was a lot that I would go, oh, like it would make me feel uneasy. But then I'm trying to apply a mentality and a set of ethics based on how much the world has changed in 2000 odd years or maybe more on how things were back then. Like even sometimes the way they speak in the Bible, I'm like, oh, that's a bit. But then I'm like, wait a minute, everything's got to be done with context. Just like clipping a podcast and just like watching that clip and thinking you have the full story.
I'm going to make you look like a Satanist.
Please don't.
Well, have you read the Quran, for example?
I started reading the Quran. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I had this experience on, like I said, my depression was really bad. My family was amazing. I was making good money. Like I was found the woman of my dreams. Everything was right, and I still felt empty. I still felt really sad inside. And I just sat on the beach and I just wept. And I just like sat in silence at first. And then I found there was this song that kind of was really resonating with me. And then I just had this really weird experience on the beach. It's really hard to explain. It's like trying to explain DMT. Like you can't explain to people, you can't put it in words. And and I was sober. I can't explain what happened that day. Everything felt really weird and odd and different and good. Like it felt really good because I just cried on a beach and I fully surrendered. And I was like, man, I hadn't spoken to God since I was a kid. Like when I was 14, I used to go to this church. It was like a skate park and you could skate for free if you went to the church session. And I actually started getting really into the stuff they were saying and like the praise and the worship, like the singing and stuff like that. I was like, man, my mates didn't. They thought it was all BS, but it started to really resonate with me. And my nana was like a gun for Jesus. She loved Jesus Christ. Like if there was ever a person that dedicated their life to Jesus, it was my nana. When she found out I was going to church, she just like she loved it. And then so I sat on that beach, and that was the first time I'd spoken to God since I was a teenager, before the drugs and everything. And then I was just like, what am I doing? This feels weird. But it was just like the stuff was just coming out of me. I was just like begging, please God, help me. Please, if you're there, help me. I'm like crying. And then like I just stood up, felt weird. I felt like a new person, but also felt like I was on drugs or shrooms or something. And I'm walking down this beach and everything was going in slow motion. And like, I don't know, it was really odd. And then I kind of like slowly snapped out of it. And then I just wanted to hug my family and like I just wanted to feel like loved. And I just like went back to this hotel, hugged my family, and then it just all started there. And that was like March 2024. So it's like, over a year ago now. But at first I was like, I wanted to find God and build a relationship with God. And I started reading the Quran and I didn't get too far into it, to be honest with you, man. And it just didn't,
I've heard it's a pretty...
didn't resonate with me. I didn't really, I just like, and the more I'm learning about religion, I'm not about to sit here and start piercing holes in Islam, but like the more I learn about religion, the more I see that it's flawed and it wasn't the one for me. And I picked up the Bible next, and then I've just been smashing my way through it. I've been a bit lazy with it lately, to be honest with you. I've been a bit complacent, but
it's not like it's a small book though.
it's not a small book and it's not easy to read. Like it's a hard one to read. So I started at the New Testament, and then close to finish that, and then I'll go back to the Old Testament. But I'm still learning a lot about the Old Testament in church. They pull scripture apart, or like the videos that I watch online of pulling scripture apart. So I know a lot of the stories that are in there, but I definitely have to, and Genesis and Deuteronomy and stuff like that. Like I think I know what's in there, but I need to read it in its entirety for sure. But the New Testament is like just such a beautiful story, and it's one that I firmly believe took place. And it's not about the Bible and learning what's in the Bible, but people need to learn about the Bible and how it came about and how it was written and how these are eyewitness testimonies from people that wrote them separately, like at a time where like writing wasn't a common thing that we can just do now. Like it was like you used to have to pay to, be able to write. You used to have to get like a license to write, I think. So you had to be like scripters or scholarly. I don't know. It was like a thing. Like you couldn't just write. Anybody couldn't just write. So, and there was like, there's just so much about how the Bible came about that I started learning, not just about what's in the Bible, but around the Bible. And there's this book called Case for Christ that I would urge people to start there, because there was this guy who was like hated the idea of it and he wanted to prove it wrong and he couldn't, and he ended up becoming a Christian and fully believing in it. So it's a good place to start for people that are doubters but kind of want to go down that pathway. But also, I will never be one of them people that are ramming it down people's throats, because I trust in God too much. I trust that God will bring people to where they need to be when they need to be there. And if he wants to use me as a vessel and a vehicle to be an example of what surrendering to God can do, then so be it.
And also, you obviously there's a level of acceptance that like some people won't make that leap either, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like some people, it's just they don't need to do that. You know, like everyone's living. I mean, there's obviously so many gods, and like it's a very intense topic. And we will get into some hip hop in a second because it's like such a
Sorry.
deep. No. I mean, it's who you are, man. So I don't apologize. I want.
But the thing about other religions is people have asked me this before. Why that? Why not? You know, this and that. So I thought, and I've learned again that Muslims acknowledge Jesus and like love Jesus, believe it or not, even though the Christians and Muslims are a bit like that. But Jews understand that Jesus was who he was. Like, so all these other religions don't deny that Jesus was ever a thing or was ever a person or a figure. It's just around who he was and what he said and why he said it and what he was to God and stuff like that. That's what separates all these religions. So
it's just different interpretations, right?
Different interpretations, yeah. Different understandings, different beliefs, yeah, at the end of the day. But the funny thing is about what I've learned about other religions, it's about obedience. Obey and you will be accepted. Whereas through Christianity and through Jesus, through Christ, it's I am accepted, therefore I obey. So come as you are, come the broken, he chose the broken. You don't need to be a certain way to be accepted. It's I'll accept you as you are. And because you feel that acceptance, because you feel that love, because you feel that unconditional love and forgiveness for the fact that we are all sinners, it makes you want to obey. Mm-hmm. It's because you're accepted that you want to obey. That's the key difference. It offers the saving. It offers saving. And I feel like I'm being, if not have been saved. So we'll see how the rest of the story pans out for me.
We will. I mean, before we move on, I do have one question because 360 is another guy who's kind of gone in that direction. And recently he's gone on this big thing about swearing in his music and how he wants to stop doing it. I've noticed that you haven't stopped swearing. No. Why?
I am actively trying to swear less.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think there's other aspects of it that I'm trying to focus on. That's the 60s journey and where he's at. I'm definitely trying to.
But it's something that like people that are Christians or whatever feel like swearing is generally not a thing that they advocate for, right? Anyone who's religious, they're not like, or especially when it comes to like God, the Bible, swearing is generally like not ideal.
About like, again, like what I was saying before about the obedience and the works are important. They say your fruits, like what you're doing in this world. That's why I was saying before I want to contribute because that's your fruits. That's like the result of what God's love is doing for you. It becomes obvious in the outside world, your fruits. So I feel like the thing about swearing is because we're gifted, we believe that God gifts us with the tongue, what we call the tongue or the ability to speak. So you should speak in a way that is respected and you should speak in a way that is respectful and you should be conscious of the things that you're saying. So for me, it's just habitual and I'm they still slip out here and there. It's not until I thought about it that I realized how much I actually do swear. And for me, it's more so about not swearing in front of my kids. Then I know I'm not going to be condemned and like for swearing because, but it just makes you not want to anymore. It's not like I'm not a good Christian if I swear or I'm not like, it's just, you kind of just don't want to anymore. And maybe that's him telling me like, use your tongue for better reasons than to swear obnoxiously and especially wouldn't swear at people anymore. But the occasional F-bomb is definitely still slipping out of me, but
it'd be hard not to. I'm like, I don't notice it. And then sometimes I'll be talking or whatever. And it's not something I'm actively like even really worried about, but I definitely like say cunt like too much. And it's just because I'm like around, I notice it like I have like either people in my life or like friends or just like things that I'm involved in doing that like I'm more associated with. I don't really know how to explain that. It's just like sometimes
that makes sense.
It kind of comes up more than it should. And then sometimes I'll realize like I'll be doing a PT or something and I'll just say a sentence and I'm like, God, like.
For me, it's less about the word and more about the intention. It always comes back to intention for me.
Oh, of course, but that word specifically, sometimes people don't even care really about intention. Some people are like, I just don't like that word. And it's like, especially women, right? I'm more conscious when it's women.
Yeah.
I'm never like, oh, sorry, Jacko. You know what I mean? Like a mate or whatever. He doesn't care. But
that's good. That just says that you're a respectable man. Yeah.
We grew up with just me and my mum. She wasn't like she didn't have a huge problem with it or whatever. But like it just kind of made me like more conscious of those things. I think just like, and it's a growing thing, right? Like I'm at like, dude, it'd be crazy if in 10 years, like 9 years, like I'm your age, and we somehow cross paths again, and we're talking, and then I've got this total different outlook. Probably,
Yeah,
you know what
and
I
I
mean?
wouldn't put it past, like, you just never know, do you?
Yeah, well, it's all about growing, man. I think there's definitely some like hip hop stuff to address in this podcast. So I reckon we're going to use this moment is a really good segue because we're going to do some lyrics.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if you know them. So the headphones will be required just so you can hear it. And there should be there, right? There we go.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of things here. I just realised that I'm going to have to try and guess that now.
So you didn't even know the answer yourself?
No. I've put them on the pads, but I've just realised that I didn't pay attention when I put them on the pads. This is the first time I've done that. We're going to hope it's the right one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this one first, and we're gonna hope this is the right one. So these are I've got 4 lyrics here, or 4 different bars, and you're going to tell me who said what.
Okay.
So this one is. I just realised I can't say the first 2 words. I'm going to cut the first 2 words off and just say, I'm Damon Wayans, so I major in pain.
Biggie.
That's in Biggie Smalls.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because I've fucked them up and pressed the wrong ones, we're going to do all 4 and then go through them, because otherwise I'll press one and it'll be like the next one or something.
Yeah. Cool.
So you reckon Biggie on that line?
Biggie, because, and I could tell you why I think it's Biggie. And if it's not Biggie, I'll be even more spun out, because I had the Damon Wayans Major Pain, like that multi, and I was like, yo, that is sick, because he was Major Pain. He was in the movie. And Major Pain, like not Major like the army, but I'll put you in major pain like Damon Wayans or something. I was like, man, that's sick. Surely that's been used. And I always Google to make sure that it hasn't been used before, because you never want to be considered a biter. And I'm pretty sure I found it was Biggie that had used it, because I remember I was pretty cut that I couldn't use it myself.
Oh, so you never used it?
I never used. No, I can't use it if someone else has used it. No.
Yeah. So I'm Damon Wayans, so I major in pain. You said it's a bit of sorry, Biggie. I'm not the kind of person you'd want to try and burn. On the mic, I'm everything you'd want to be. I'm Tyler Durden. I love that line.
Not the kind of person you want to try to burn. I don't know, so I'm trying to just like break down the.
So I'm not the kind of person you'd want to try and burn. On the mic, I'm everything you'd want to be. I'm Tyler Durden.
Is there hints going, like Australian, American?
Oh, so I've kept these all Australian.
Oh, so that one before the Major Pain was Australian?
Maybe it was.
That person should have Googled.
They should have Googled. This one, I'll give you, you're on this album. You're on the album that this verse is on.
Yeah, I think that's Grievous, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Confusion's in my nature. Fuck proving that I'm greater. Regrets keep me fresh like food in a container.
Damn. One more time, hit me with it.
Confusion's in my nature. Fuck proving that I'm greater. Regrets keep me fresh like food in a container.
I'm going to go old school complete. Just put the schematic, like the way that the multis are laid out. It's very like perfected, the way that it's
Completely.
It's very completey. Yeah, it's very OCD.
So much game. Call me Sonic the Hedgehog. Still a dirty player. Got my cock in an Xbox.
Damn.
The fucking line.
It's a bar.
It's a fucking bar.
It's a bar.
Mm.
And these are all Australian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go on, hit me with it again.
So much game. Call me Sonic the Hedgehog. Still a dirty player. Got my cock in an Xbox.
I'm going to go with Daz. That sounds like some Daz shit.
It does sound like some Daz shit.
It does.
It does. So,
and if he didn't do that, he's going to be pissed that he didn't think of that, I reckon.
I think you'll be surprised by who some of these are. Right. So
much game, call me Sonic the Hedgehog. Still a dirty player, got my cock in an Xbox.
Well, it's not Daz.
No, it's Bird Brain.
Oh, wow.
He was on, it's off the D Corp Cypher. Complete No.
I was going to say that beat. I know that beat.
Yeah, complete. That was like, That was when Complete Nomac, what they did that mixtape together was it? They did that song Ready to Faint. I can't remember what the mixtape was.
Who did that? Who did it?
Remember when Complete Nomac did that?
Devil's Resume.
Devil's Resume, yeah. That, and they went over to Melbourne and they filmed a video over there and stuff. I think Birdbrain filmed the video for that.
Yeah, okay.
So shout out to Birdbrain for that hilarious line. What's this next one? Here we go.
Wow.
That motherfucker didn't Google.
Wow. Do you know what? So I'm talking more recent. I thought of it major Damon Wayne's Major Pain. So obviously did it back then before I was Googling and checking shit. Because that's old school. That's old, that song, right?
Dangerous Minds with Complete and Divine on YouTube. Didn't mean for that to rhyme just then. But I think
like 15 years ago.
It's 13 years on YouTube. So it's probably older than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it just made the lead up to that even funnier.
That's
because
so
when you
classic.
were like, that's definitely Biggie. I was just
dissing
like,
myself.
This is so much funnier. It's almost like when I did it with Maddie and then he was like, I don't know who that is. And it was him.
No, I'm Wayne, so I Major in Pain. Yeah, I thought of that line again. I must have completely forgotten that. I thought of that line again a few years ago and I was like, I better Google this and check. So there you go.
At least it got used, bro.
Bit of belief.
Confusion's in my nature, luck proving that I'm greater. Regrets keep me fresh like food in a container.
Man, I still reckon fucking Complete's got quite a discography, and obviously he's killing it with the new stuff. But there's a place for me with that Panic Disorder. I just I just love that release, man. And it's so rough compared to now, like even just the production. And I just
that's what was cool about it. And at the time, no one sounded real polished back then. And he was just like, I remember when I heard Heartless Revenge, it was so sick, man. I was like, what the hell is this? Again, just that like OCD for the multis, like as you could hear before. Damon Wayne, so I Major in Pain. Like them multis are off. And it wasn't until I started getting around Complete and he was like real OCD with his syllables that I started like inheriting that myself. Now it just drives me mental, to be honest with you, because like now I have to be particular. It like rubbed off on me. So the second that I can't even remember what song that was, but I just knew by the way it was laid out that it was Complete. So.
Dirty Thoughts with Layla.
Okay.
That was so here we go. So Layla doesn't have a perfect multi on her first line of that song, but the line is so funny that you don't even care. It's her first line is dirty thoughts like sperm in a horse.
No, Layla never does. Like Layla's all over the shop with her patterns and her syllables.
Yeah,
she's like, but that's her steez. Do you know what I mean?
She was like a spoken word poet first or something, man. Right?
Yeah. She never overthought the layout of her stuff too much, which was like what was dope about Layla. She was spitting.
Yeah, she's on the Gallery album, right?
She is, yeah.
Snakes and Ladders?
Snakes and Ladders. I'd love another verse from Layla these days, man. It's hard.
Yeah. Dude, this conversation is like a whole other thing because I've had it a few times now because she's kind of the one out of like SBX and like Perth hip hop that, you know, you sort of got that one release and then a bunch of features and it's like you kind of you're really left wanting more. Not that you don't from other people, but I just like Daz has made so much with Downside. Never did a solo album, but he's made so much with Downside and done so many features.
Still got tastes of Daz for sure.
I feel like we could have done with like another like Layla album or two, and that's up to her and it's her own, you know, whatever it is. But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I feel like it was always like ready for another one, and we didn't.
Me and Omac tried to have this conversation with her, and she didn't appreciate it at all.
Oh, really?
She got quite angry with us
because you was like, what was the angle?
Well, I think it's a sore spot for her because it's like she probably thinks the same, like she would, but she's just so like Layla is Layla's biggest critic, so it was just like I think she just really overthought it and just didn't have enough. Layla's style, Layla's confidence or lack thereof didn't match Layla's style. I don't think Layla had any idea how good she was and probably still is. So we were like, come on, man, everyone needs a Layla album. Get busy. Like, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. And she took it, I know. And I think me and Omac were just drunk and we went too far with it. Like, come on, man, you're just being lazy. Hit them with it. Australia needs it right now. And she ended up going, shut the fuck up. Anyway, we copped it that night.
Well, that's like, the thing is to me that I always think about is I'm kind of like, how do you have that? Like, that's just what I'm like, how do you have that? And then like, I don't know, like,
I think
and just not do it again. I don't know, like, surely she still wants to sometimes.
Sometimes you can set the bar, the precedent so high for yourself. Like you come out, you kill it, and then it's just like, what if people don't think I can top? What if I don't top that? Or everyone's like, oh, this is dope, but it's not as good as Heretic. Or, do you know what I mean? There is that fear and that anxiety within an artist, and especially if you kind of battle with your own stuff anyway. So I totally get it, but it just sucks that it was a thing for her because, yeah, I don't take back the stuff that me and Omak were saying. I just don't think we're very tactful about it in that night. We're like, come on, man, get busy. She's like, shut the fuck up. All right, cool.
You think it'll never happen as well? Like you don't think you'd ever get another feature or anything?
No, she's a mum now, and she loves being a mum. And I think it's just, yeah, that's. I think I've asked her for a feature a couple of times since then, and it hasn't really gone anywhere. So I don't think it's anything. It's nothing personal. There's always love. But she just, yeah, I think she just fell off. She didn't fell off. Like the passion for it fell away from her. So Daz probably does her head in with the music stuff as well. She's probably sick of hip hop in general. So yeah,
probably. I mean, look, shouts to Layla, Layla anyway for doing her thing. She's what we got, was amazing anyway.
Yeah, we'll take it.
You can't go back. It's not that you can't go back and listen to Heretic. It's still awesome. So
even the verses that she does is collabs. There's a draft album that's like there's a bonus track on there that I don't know if
bro.
Have you heard it?
Have I heard it?
Yeah, okay.
Bro, I was working in the bottle shop, Frankel Street bottle shop in Bunbury when I lived there. I was like 15, junior, like with cartons. They were like, this is a new track of The Life of Riley, and Sing It came on. Yeah. And I just remember hearing it for the first time at work, bro, being like, I cannot wait to get home. Yeah. I'm going to smash like 6 buckets and listen to this 5 times. Yeah. And I did. And then I went and bought the album, JB Hi-Fi, like fucking straight away. And we found out about it online. Me and my mate had to go get this old fucking CD player so we could rewind it back and hear the original track. Yeah. And the track is Letters to the Editor by Layla, and I still listen to it now because I remember being like, I'd never heard her do anything like that. No. It's really, really...
So you can get it elsewhere now? Like, or do you still have to go to that?
She put it on SoundCloud.
Okay.
Yeah. But like that secret track shit was crazy. Like I was like, man, that's... and that
Surprise!
Yeah. Well, no, you wouldn't have ever known if you didn't know, really. No one looked it up. I don't think it said it on the disc or anything.
No.
It was like a...
Secret bonus track. Yeah.
Secret bonus track, yeah.
That if you kept the last song playing, it was just like a couple of minutes later. So if you just were playing the album and I think the last song plays and you've just got playing in the background.
No.
No?
No, it's not. So the only way you could do it, which is why it was even cooler, if you put the disc in the computer, you couldn't hear it. You had to have a CD player and it was the first song.
Rewind.
You had to rewind the first song back and it allowed you to rewind the first song backwards.
Wow.
It was that from memory anyway. I remember just fucking wigging out over that.
How did people discover that though?
Fuck knows. Yeah, I don't even know if he ever... I've never seen him talk about it or post about it or anything. I mean, you didn't... It sounds like you didn't 100% know that either. So like... And you
just forgot, yeah.
Or maybe you did know that, but like, yeah, I mean, you're obviously pretty close with fucking Paul.
I knew it at the time. He told me about what he was going to do. I just couldn't remember how he actually had the secret track on there. But now that you've said it, that does ring a bell. Yeah.
I know this isn't really ever his thing, so the chances of me ever talking to him is pretty slim. But if I ever, for some reason, get that opportunity, I'd love to ask him about it because I just want to know why Layla as well. Like he could have put anyone there. It's interesting choice.
Yeah.
The last one. We didn't even play that. This is the last one.
I'm not the kind of person you wanna try and burn.
Yes.
I'm everything you'd wanna be. I'm Tyler Dirt.
It is a line, man, that it's just one of those nice punchlines that like you've seen the movie, you like the reference. It's cool.
Misk is a very, very underrated rapper. His pen game is serious. Misk is a very serious lyricist, man. I really respect Misk. I've seen him not that long ago. He was showing me some of his new stuff that's going to be coming out next. It's just bananas. He's such a good writer.
Yeah, I used to smash fucking even Aftershock, man, when they were still doing that.
Oh, wow.
What was that album that they released one album together, but Creating Silence?
That's right.
Yeah, and it had a song on it called The Silver Lining.
I think I was on that album. I can't remember what the song was.
I think you were on that album, yeah. But I can't find the full album. I can only find a couple of songs on YouTube.
Hit him up. I'm sure he'll be able to get a copy for you.
Yeah, I'd be keen to. The song Silver Lining was about drinking goon. I don't know if you ever remember that. And that was fucking, it was at the time. I loved it. I was drinking lots of goon. Yeah. Well, we can take these off now. It's more stylish to not wear them, apparently, Instagram reckons.
Oh, well, I got the complete one. I got 1 out of 4.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I actively try to make it hard because I feel like it's, especially when I'm picking other people, like when I'm picking yours, it's like always hard because I'm like, if I pick because you've got some real obvious ones in like, there's like one in Mr. Big Man I was going to go for, and I was like, no, he'll know that because it was a big song.
I
Like,
don't know. I'm pretty bad.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to touch. So like with the releases here, one of them's my favorite, and it's not one of the ones that's on Spotify. It's only on Bandcamp. Shouts to Bandcamp.
Wow.
You did Isolation 2011.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. The Gallery, which is sitting behind you, came, I don't know if it was after that or maybe
2013.
Yeah, so the Tour Guide mixtape
was before the Gallery.
Yeah. That was my shit, bro.
Yeah.
I fucking loved that release, man. Like, Hello.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That song cranks, man. That's still one of your best.
What was the intro? It was like a Lupe Fiasco beat.
Yeah.
I can't remember. What it was.
I know the track, because then you had, man, it's like they're all so like nostalgic for me. Like even just the beats and that. Like on that, I think the track 2 is like It Ain't Sweet, and then
that's right.
That's where the Battleships came from, right?
Yes, yeah.
That
the original Battleships.
Yeah, doing all double time and shit in that.
Yeah.
Hello, and then I remember you had that. Is that? No, that's Outer Space was on the Gallery. I'm trying to think. You have like another one on there. We'll have to get it up because I remember, man, like playing that front to back, and it was funny because it was like my favorite, but it was like because it was like a mixtape. It didn't kind of get around like.
No.
You had hard copies of it, didn't you?
I just burned it. I just pressed a whole bunch of them. Was just handing them out. It was like a way of promoting the album. I think it was like a thing that people did at the time that. Like tracks that didn't make their album, they'd do like a little mixtape and some promo stuff, and they'd put the mixtape out first to kind of build some hype, and then do the album shortly after. So that's what I did. It was like a thing back then.
Yeah. So free was the intro.
That's the one I was talking about. But that ain't free.
Yeah. And then so that's when I was talking about. So the Misk verse was off Dope as Fuck.
Yeah.
Which is off Ill Recognize Ill, which I have the hard copy. One of my friends still has it. You know who you are.
Man.
I want it fucking back. That has a secret track on it too.
That was the Down South Crew.
Yeah. That's I told Rob the other day that he did the intro.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorite. He just scratches on it a while.
Did he remember it?
Yeah, because he was talking about they had like trouble. He had real trouble with it because of the samples they used. They had like a hell issue when he was trying to make it.
Right.
And they said it was a full pain in the ass, but it came out wicked.
Yeah, right, okay.
But that, if you let Dope as Fuck playing, which was the song at the end, which was featuring Aftershock, and that was what Misk's bar was off.
Yeah.
If you left that playing, there was a secret track at the end of that by a guy named Shrooms.
Yeah.
Who's from here. He's from Rockingham. And then like he doesn't make music anymore. But that was another one. Like it was just this. That's how we discovered that. One day we were playing and the song was at 6 minutes and nothing was playing, and I was like, "Why is it still going?"
Classic.
And then it just kicks in. Then you did. So that on that one they had I'm Ill. Then you put
I'm Ill Too.
I'm Ill Too on your one. Pulling Me Under, man, with Cortex and Complete. I used to love that song, man. That was a sick beat. Reminded me. Used to do quite a few songs with. Well, it used to be called Drunk and then became Creed Birch. You did a song on You'll Recognize Ill called People Change, but then
It was something about losing sleep or something, wasn't it? Losing sleep or sleepless nights. Sleepless nights.
There was two, I think.
People Change and sleepless nights.
And then he did another one called NPC Sessions, I think. Man, I used to love all those songs. Like
what a time. That was such a good time in life, man.
Yeah?
It was such a good time. It's such a good time. So many great memories. I'm so glad I did this.
Yeah.
So glad I did this. Like even all the touring that I've done, all the shows that I've done, it's been some of my best memories are because of music for sure.
Well, you must have done quite a few in Albany then, because that's where they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did quite a few there. And then you have I really like the verse that you did on Illy's album, Six Shooter.
Six Shooter, yeah.
And then you ended up over that way again. I think like later on, and you were on like that cypher with like Purpose.
Yeah.
And those boys, you did the festival, right? What festival was that?
It was Sprung.
2013?
Yeah. And then me, Purpose, Prime. Like I was real cool with them guys because they were kind of like to the hoods and certified wise what I was to SBX, like the new young dude. They were the new young dudes in Adelaide that were just spitting, and they were like kind of taken under the wings of the older boys. Of the Oars and the hoods and stuff, and then there was me in Perth. It was like the similar version of that in Perth, like under the SBX guys under their wing. So we would just like talk quite a bit. I was like real cool with Perp and Prime, man. I just like really looked up to their pen game. You know, they were just really really good rappers. And so yeah, I think I was doing like all space references on that
Did a
verse.
Space
wasn't it?
Jam reference.
Maya Jupiter, Bruno Mars. Like
Yeah, I'm getting mixed up with that and the 6-shooter one because the 6-shooter one, I know you say like you got like a bar covered in sewer slime, something
That's right.
suicide. Like
Yeah.
they're all in my head
that's
now.
6-shooter.
6-shooter, yeah. I'm getting like because I kind of get for some reason I've always kind of mixed them two up, but I think it's because like Illy Purpose, like they're from over that direction. I quoted Prime for one of his bars in the one with Josh, and he was like, "Oh, I've never heard that before," and I was like, "Bro." Tunguska Part 2 was the one I took it from, and I was like, you got to go check out Prime stuff, man. He is fucking underrated, that guy.
Like we were saying before about the punchlines and stuff like that, them boys were like
yeah,
they were crazy at that. They were so good at that.
Prime always reminded me of like Pez, kind of like that kind of like style of rap, but almost like back when Pez was younger and
Just
almost
real smooth with it. Yeah.
I feel like Pez used to, I don't know how to say it, like not try harder, but he definitely, they used to kind of make music where there was a lot more like punchlines, like pop culture references, stuff like that.
That Pez album, was it Out of My Mind or something like that? Or,
with Shine and stuff on it.
that album was so good. Pez is such a good rapper.
Yeah.
Such a good rapper.
Crazy, man. It's and that's why for me, like the nostalgia's crazy when I think of these songs. So I'm like, man, I remember like downloading this shit on my computer because that's how you like did it then.
Yeah.
There was none of this like, oh, it's on Spotify when everyone will listen to it. Just like download the MP3
Yeah.
and then search for it and shit. Like the fucking 2.0 boys cypher. Like you've been on so many ciphers, man. What did I have playing in here the other day? And I was like playing it. We were training. It was the one with Asthmatic and Soma.
The Hammer Dance one.
The Hammer Dance. yeah.
Damn, I have done a lot of ciphers.
You have.
That was my thing back in the day. I just loved like doing verses and like the posse track kind of thing. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed doing all that stuff because, like I said before, I really like the competitive aspect. Everyone like trying to outdo each other, who could bring the best verse. So yeah, I really liked that. That was a really good time in life. I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, man, it was cool to like, I guess, like witness and kind of like see it all go down because there was so many like cool collabs and songs that like stuck in your head. Like I remember like I just always there for like you and Cortex doing like that Armageddon.
Armageddon was sick.
Just so many like
So
I don't know, not
aggressive.
phases, but just like things where you were working with different people. And
Yeah.
it was such a like, you know, as we talked about before, when you're sitting back and watching it as like a fan, it's like a show to you. You're kind of like, oh, he's working with that guy now, and oh, they're doing a mixtape, and
Yeah.
you know, it's weird to even where it's at now. I remember seeing like the Battleships thing with Rob when that came out. Like, oh, that's referencing that fucking song. You know, it's like it's cool when you follow along.
Yeah.
It's a kind of
Oh, that's so good to hear. That's that's really interesting. And like, man, looking back now, I just can think of how many phases I go through. And it's also nostalgic. Like I remember what kind of stuff we were doing. Like you guys hear the music, but it's like what we were doing around the music at that time. Like we would make music during the day and then kick on in the night and drink and like spit actual ciphers and freestyles at night, and like who we were hanging around at the time, like what groups were we hanging around, whose house were we always kicking it at, like, you know, stuff like that. It's like, man, I've been so blessed. I've lived such an awesome life. And like, yeah, what you got to witness as like a story or watching something, I don't consider myself famous by any means, but the fact that there was people tuning in and watching it like that is so cool to me. And to know that I just got to live on the other side of that is like, yeah, it's so dope.
yeah,
So
man.
great.
Like I remember downloading those like YouTube videos so they could be on like a hard drive. And then we'd like be going through them on TV and like smoking bongs.
Sick.
You know what I mean? Like it was
Sick.
such an effort to do it. It was not like it is now. And it was, yeah. So to me, like, and even on the serious level of like things like Hello, Hello, and like some of those songs, you know, like having bad days and just being able to like kind of listen to something where, I don't know what it was. Maybe for a lot of people, there is a lot of like, I relate to this. I used to have this thing where it wasn't always about relating. It was kind of like, it was like listening to someone else's struggle, and the struggle could be so different to mine, or something where they were talking about something or something to do with their upbringing or something. And it was like, because I was in that mindset myself, listening to that made me feel like I had like company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know.
It's the relatability thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but the story could be so different. But it was almost just kind of like, I don't feel like alone. So I kind of feel like I'm around. I feel that's what reactions are. I'll watch a movie trailer now, right? Or I'll listen to a new song, and I can't wait to like look at a reaction video. But I used to fucking hate them all. Like some people are like, they're so stupid. But then I'm sitting watching someone react to it, and then like you see them react to the bar that you reacted to, and you're like, yeah, he fucking liked that. It's like, why am I? I'm not even in the same room with this person.
It's the connection thing you were talking about before. It connects us all, doesn't it?
Well, social media's made it weird though, right?
Yeah.
It's weird that that's now how it is.
It's definitely weird watching people react to your own stuff for sure. It's really.
Is there a lot of people that react to your stuff?
I love watching American crew react to it. There's like a few American crews that react to it. No one that's like a really big reactor. Shazza dude used to react to our stuff. Yeah, it's just really cool to see, like when people pick up on the little nuances of stuff that you do, or the technical stuff that you do in your writing. It's really good when you see, like, I watch their face, like as they're listening, or like when it's cool, man. It's cool. It's really cool.
I remember back in the day, you had a verse that I have memory, and it was like that one always. There's an old video on YouTube, man. You'd spin out if you saw it now. I imagine. You're doing a cypher on stage. Cortex looks like a complete different person. Long hair, hat, like a lot, like had a lot more weight on him.
Yeah,
Paulie, P, and you were all on stage. Paulie's like, I remember this part. He's like verse hits or whatever's going on, and he gets real hype or whatever, and then you come in and do but you'll know the verse as soon as you hear it. I wish I could identify it, but you're rapping on a beat, and you've all brought separate verses to it. And I'll have to show you the video, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's off this song."
I need to hear
but
that,
you have a crazy, deliver it like this. It's like the end of the fucking verse, and you're like, it's full double time, the whole front of it.
Yeah, okay.
But it's obviously off a song that I've heard, and I remember seeing the live and going, you know, when you get that thing, and you're like, "Fuck, this isn't that beat."
Yeah.
What is it? Like, and now I can't remember where the verse is from, and maybe you won't either. But
man, I'm trying to think of what gig that would be. Even like
maybe I can. Honestly, it comes up straight away. I remember finding it back in the day. I'd just be curious as to you to identify. Just like it was you, and then Paulie P, and then maybe like Adam Crook. There's another one that maybe is separate.
Oh, I think I know what that might be. I think it was in Frio.
Defier.
Yeah, I think that was in Frio at the.
And then there's like, where is it? Paulie goes crazy, and then
or is this Mojo's maybe?
I want to know what verse.
A record.
You reckon it?
Yeah, I recognize the verse. I'm trying to think of what it was.
Because the big thing for me was like, I actually like it because Paulie's gone off, and he clearly went a little bit over. And it's like that thing where when you get a video perspective, I remember watching, and I can see you literally just
waiting.
about, and then you like go, oh, he's still going. And then because you can tell the way that you've had to come in on your verse is so structured that you're like, you have to make sure you drop it on the right part. Otherwise it's going to be like offbeat.
Yeah.
And I think it's, so it's like this one. Here we go. Man, if anyone's listening and they know, fucking message me, because I'm
anybody
like,
living, delivering, like Divine will know.
Yeah, Divine, like, because the beat itself the beat's amazing. So I'd love to know what beat that was. Disaster's doing on cuts apparently.
I think it was a Paulie P beat. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then Cortex's verse is off that Down South Crew album. So you've all clearly brought your own. I don't even Paulie's one. I'm like, fuck, I recognize that too. But it's
we used to do that a lot, eh?
Well, you'd have to.
Stuff,
you'd have to, right?
Can't freestyle. Paulie P would have been freestyling for sure. Paulie P could freestyle better than he wrote. Like, freestyles were insane because it was all about energy and just like swagger. Paulie P had the best like live swagger for sure.
That's crazy. What do you reckon is one of the most memorable? Like I know you've like hyped up for Draft a lot.
Yeah,
I saw you at Groove in the Mood with Draft. I remember when you supported him
shows
there.
Were epic.
Yeah,
epic. My own. I used to really, really love playing at the Rosemount. Hey, had some really good shows at the Rosemount, like Bitter Belief sets and Drafto sets. Some really cool SBX sets that we did together. We did like a little tour once. It was like, what do we call it? It was like we did all these remixes to like reggae songs. That was a really cool little tour. It was good times.
Matty B would have been all over that, eh?
I don't think he was around. It wasn't like, this is in his like hiatus that he was having.
He loves reggae. Would have been.
He'd love it now. Yeah. There was a period where I was like using shaker on my cuts. That Liquid Candy show that I did at Perth Metro, was really cool. Opened up for Cursor once. I had a really good set at that. I had a broken hand at the time. Me and Drafto did the first ever music performance at the Perth Arena. I feel like to be part of history there is pretty cool. Even it was a draft set, it wasn't nothing to do with me, but I was hyping him. I had a broken hand for that one as well.
Did you only ever hype him, or did you sometimes like chuck a verse on something or whatever?
Oh yeah, for sure. He would always make sure that in his set I did one of my own songs in the middle, and then sometimes a verse on one of his other tracks. Like if it was a track with Trials and Trials wasn't there, I would just fill it in with a verse of my own, like what you were just saying, like one of my a verse from another song I would chuck on there.
Do you ever do the Paul the Dan?
That's what we're doing. Yeah, we do that a lot.
That's that's the best song off that album, I think.
Yeah, I love
energy
that song.
wise. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good live.
Yeah.
But yeah, he usually gets me up to do the Paul the Dan when Trigger's not there. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So it's the Paul the Aaron.
the Paul, and he says that. Yeah. Man, you're just pulling all this like actual stuff that happens out. He said, yeah.
I think maybe I've heard that when you did Groove in the Moon. I'm trying to think
If it would have been out,
Riley must have just come.
probably just.
No,
It wasn't until later that I started doing Trials as verses. He just used to do the one verse.
would have been 2012, 2013. I think.
I don't think I was doing
both
it yet.
those
No,
years,
later.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a. Are you? Well, maybe you can't say. Are you going to be at the August 8th one?
Yeah, I'll be at both of them.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Well, that's like, I suppose you weren't on Who Am I, but you probably will. I mean, it depends if he deviates from it or you kind of jump on it or whatever. Like, you're not technically on the album, right?
No, I'm not on the
So,
album,
because
no.
that was like, you came in like 2006, didn't you? Wasn't it like just after
when I
that?
met them?
Yeah. Like,
No, I was like 2011, bro.
no, but wasn't 2006 when you, I swear when's Judge and Jury? When did that come out? Have I got that wrong? Wasn't that 2009, maybe?
Was it really?
Yeah, I think so, man. I've got the album. It's behind you. Judge and Jury. Oh, that. No, there we go. 2009, or am I wrong?
2010.
2010. There we go. Not too far off.
So when did I thought Isolation came out 2011?
It did.
Okay, cool. Oh,
So-
so I was doing this before that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
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 yeah.
I've forgotten my own journey. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2010 was the first time you like officially worked.
Yeah, so I would have met them about 2008, I'd say, which
And
would make me 7, 3, 13, 13 plus 8, 19. Yeah, I would have been about. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, 2008, I would have started meeting all them guys. About
Yeah.
20, 21 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, because even when it comes to like what you've worked on, the earlier stuff, do you know anything about Spotify now? It's like not always 100% accurate, right? Because it's kind of all over the place. But I couldn't find anything earlier. Like Ill Recognized Ill was 2011. So it was like, other than that, there's just a lot of the new stuff. You're on LSD's album, which was wicked because I was talking to Rob about that.
That's right. I don't even remember the song.
It was. Oh, yeah, Slam with Chase. Life MC, LSD, Chase, and Bit of Belief, Slam.
I don't even remember that, bro.
What's the.
Oh, this beat.
Oh,
This
there you
beat
go.
is so sick, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember I got really pissed at Shaker for giving that beat to someone else. I was like, bro, this is a Bit of Belief beat every day of the week, cuz.
I was going to say, even just hearing it then, I'm like, that's actually.
That is a Bit of Belief beat.
That's a bit of beat for
But
sure.
LSD's very dope as well.
Crazy, man. That's, we talked about him. That guy's like, he talk about structure and multis and rhyme scheme like
So
being
good.
OCD. It's like fucking whoa.
So good.
But the gallery obviously came out afterwards. Or we were talking about this a little while ago. My brothers like went to, I think my brother Corey maybe like went to school or something with like Matt Gresham, or they knew.
yeah.
So when he came up, and I remember just being like, "Oh, this is hip hop I'm listening to," and then they were like, "Oh, that's got Matt on it," and it was a spin out. You had a couple of like I mentioned this because I had when I was doing Rob's, I was going through his thing, and there was like old photos of you and the tongue, when you were working in the studio or whatever. And then you have like it says like The Purpose on there, and I was like always kind of
Does it
confused by
say
that.
The Purpose?
It says The Purpose
On what?
on High on Life. Like it's got the tongue, The Purpose, Sarah Pelicano.
Oh, shit. I never knew that.
It happened. Oh, here's the other one that look, Mantra or Draft. You guys don't have to get onto this, but like it's bothered me for years. On Mantra's album, Draft's on that song Bad News, if you remember, it says like draft, like the T is in front of the H or something.
Oh, right.
And it's like forever bothered me. I'm like, surely someone can grammatically work that. I see it a bit every now and then. There's some funny ones.
Yeah, right. The Purpose. That would have been because of the tongue. They would have accidentally done The Purpose. Yeah, yeah.
I actually hate that more than I realize now. The
Yeah,
Purpose.
Oh, that's annoying. I never
Yeah,
knew that.
yeah. You need to contact them, man. Be like,
Yeah,
hey, man,
it's time to go back
what's
in
going
time.
on here? Obviously, Creed Birch was on that album as well.
Yeah.
You know, you had like Briggs, and then the Snakes and Ladders. That's a good Bossy track.
Yeah, that had Layla on it too.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good. I mean, to me, I always recognize people's verses.
Mm.
So judge and jury, like I always, I like all the verses on it, but like I would always recognize like Layla's. You said a couple of lines in yours that I would always. You say something like fucking pop nose, optos or something. I always remembered like
That's
that.
right,
I'd always
yeah,
like
yeah.
trigger, be like, oh yeah, I know this
Know your
verse.
boys got flows like a pop nose. These other dudes are just imitating optos. And if the door's locked, Chris got the keys. Because there was this guy called Chris who used to play the keys for us.
Yeah,
Chris got the keys. We on the beat like hip hop police.
yeah. See, it's crazy you can remember it. You must have.
I got an army behind me like Downside does. That was a sick line.
That's a sick line. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah. And for anyone who doesnn't know, it's because Army was the DJ,
DJ.
at the time.
Mm.
And then there was like 2013 to 2017. There was stuff happening. Like that's when like Horizon Haze was 2016.
Mm-hmm.
But you were kind of like, I think that's when you were doing a little bit of that like Armageddon because that was like 2014.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of like not hiatus, but the space there was you were doing lots of different stuff
In the background, yeah.
in the background. And then that's when Beast Mode kind of came out after that.
2018 was that?
2017, it's listed here.
Yeah.
And that has like standard, like OMAT, Bit of Belief, like collabs. Like you've got like OMAT, Complete, Cortex, Benny Bajar's on that one. Like ones that, to me, when I would listen, I was talking to someone about this the other day. I was like, I feel bad. Sometimes I get a release and I go straight to the collabs, but it's not because I don't like the album. I'll just see that someone's worked with someone and go, I fucking have to
I want
hear
to hear
that.
what that sounds like.
Dude, like
That's cool.
Well, you've made so many songs with, Complete, for example. Do you guys have like, if you were to isolate every song you've made
We've
together?
got quite the catalogue, yeah.
Yeah, quite a lot together.
Yeah.
So was it the Terminal? Was that you two?
Terminal, yeah.
Terminal was you two, and then so you did Elephant Gifts as well, which was like, it's interesting seeing the difference, man. Like you can see how much things change. I think Wingspan was like, is that the one with the mad crazy music video? Is that got like a really mad music video to it?
Making wings the whole time in it, yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing that and like I don't know, I'm pretty into like heavy metal and stuff. So I think I just hadn't listened in a while. And I remember being like, fuck, this music video looks good.
Yeah.
And like, it was such a cool concept. I don't know, man. Look, I'm all for you rapping to the camera, but like when people do that a lot.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing that like and being like, this feels more like music.
Yeah.
Not just rap.
It was like a movie, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
That guy, Steve Brown, I did Beautiful Ugly with him as well, that video of the putting my body back together, the nurses. And me and him have done a collab again to do a video on this next release for a song called Testimony. So I can't wait to release that one.
Yeah. Is that just you again?
Just me.
Because you're getting a lot of vocals on there now, right? Like, so you used to work with Sarah a lot.
No, I haven't in a long time.
Yeah, now it's like, I mean, the James Aberley, is he on call?
Mhm.
Yeah, that guy's crazy.
He's on Elephant Gifts, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what he's on To
And
the
then
Edge.
we did our own EP together too.
You did?
Our own EP together, me and James.
Yeah, that's that. I was looking at that the other day, but I don't think that's on here. Or it's like,
Where are you on Spotify?
no. So it's separate. They've put it in. Oh, it's good. It's under EP. That's why. Yeah. So To Speak is silver, not to. It's on To Speak is silver, not to speak on. I actually haven't heard all of this one. I'm going to have to really check that out because I didn't know you done a whole EP.
Whole EP together, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's.
And then the Elephant Gifts is probably my favorite. And then I really liked Horizon Haze as well, though. And then
Trying to think what was
this new one. I know a couple of my close friends have said this new one's my best yet.
Is the album finished or?
Just finished it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of just sitting on it now, getting all my ducks in a row before I can bring it out. So
If we don't do it on here, will you tell me what collabs you're on it after?
of course, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wicked, cool.
Well, this one I was like, cool. This is probably going to be my last album, so I wanted to get all of my favorite rappers on there. So all my favorite Australian rappers are on there. So if you can guess, I can confirm.
Now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it. Why not?
Favorite Australian rappers. Oh man, that's so hard because I feel like I'm just gonna list my favorites. I'd be last album ever.
It'll be my last album. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He's moving into retirement. Okay.
No, I think like I was saying before, I think I'll just go to a place where I'm just like EPs. I might do EPs like 4 or 5 trackers, or like just a song here and there, like I used to do. Albums are just like, even this one that's about to come out, some of the songs on there are like 3 or 4 years old because I take so long to do an album. Because what happens is I do these tracks, I have these tracks, and then start recording them. And by the time I start filling up the rest of the album, I'm over these original tracks. They start falling off. I replace them with new, and it's just this constant like revolving door of moving tracks around. And then it's just been like 4 years between releases. And it's just like, man, I'd rather just pump out like a four track EP once a year and just do little solid releases of just like 4 really good solid songs, and just keep pumping them out. So because by the time it comes out, I still associate and relate to the tracks. There's tracks on here I'm like, don't even feel like this anymore. This isn't even me anymore, but I've got to put it out because it's a great song. So
Yeah. How many tracks is it?
this one's 12.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I feel like drafts on it then.
drafts on it.
Yeah, nice, cool. I'm trying to think who like your favorites are because there's gonna be a lot of SBX. We know Layla's.
Well, I'll
not
tell you
on it.
right now, there's an SBX collab on. There's an SBX track on there.
Oh well, if it's gonna be your last album, then you probably
Yeah,
want to do that.
But
yeah.
outside of the there's an SBX posse cut on there. But then there's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other rappers outside of that are my favorite.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm super curious to who your favorites are. Then Divine's on it.
He's not.
Divine's not on it. Okay. All right.
He'd be up there though. He'd be in my top 10 in Australia though.
One of my I was waiting for more for Divine. I think he did like a mixtape a while ago or an album.
He's such a good rapper, man.
Oh man, his fucking voice is like I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
remember
sick
hearing him rap in person. I was like, fuck, this is loud.
He's got a big voice. Yeah,
Crazy voice.
Yeah, yeah.
I always listen to shout outs to Divine. Was it Hello to Goodbye?
Oh yeah,
Dude.
I know someone that used to love that song. He, the thing that Brad's got is like severely underrated, and I like this. I'm this kind of whoa, bro.
What?
He just started calling me. He's calling me right now, bro.
Answer the phone. Do it.
That was weird, bro. Yo. Oi, cuz, this is the weirdest thing ever. We just started talking about you on this podcast and you called straight away. Bruh. Yeah, we just started talking about how dope you were and then you just called. That was so weird. That's hilarious.
It's never happened before.
Yeah. He's just outside the door. I'll hit you back after anyway. I just thought I'd answer and just tell you how classic that was. I'll speak to you soon. See you. Bye. There you go.
What a spin out.
That was a real spin out. Yeah, his flow. I love rappers with a sick flow, like a real good like swag and cadence on a beat. And Brad always finds these sick little pockets to rap in. But no, he's not top 6 for me, unfortunately. Well, he's not on the album. Put it that way.
Okay.
And this is like an interchangeable top 6, but as of late, like as I was creating this album, so in the last 4 years, these will be my 6 favorite rappers at the time.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, Suffer, Sesta, Daz, like all these people were interchangeably my favorite. Pez, Mantra, my favorite rappers. But over the last 4 or 5 years, these 6 have been my guys. Pretty much the only Aussie hip hop I listen to be honest with you.
I'm going to keep on shouting out my mate who's definitely not listening to this song because he has Speaking Volumes by Mantra on hard copy that I'd really fucking love back, bro, because that album is insane.
banger,
Mantra
yeah.
was one of my favorites too. Jesus Christ. Guy's a beast. Trials.
No.
He's one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah. And he was back then as well, but just not in the last 4 years. I haven't been banging much Trials.
I bang old Trials.
Yeah.
So to be honest, bro, I just love Fun Calls. So nothing against Trials and what he's doing now, but I'm too nostalgic. I love that. I love Fun Calls. This is really hard then. I mean, you mentioned Pez.
No, he's not in there.
Oh, okay. This is really insane. Is there much over East guys? Or is a lot of them from Perth?
There is 3 over East guys and 3 Perth guys.
But you know the hardest part about it now is thinking about who's active. That's
They're
what,
all active.
But that's what gets me at Seth Century.
No.
Ooh, Illy?
Nope.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Fuck, I'm curious.
It's not
now.
Jesus. I wish I had Jesus on a track.
Jesus would go hard on the track,
would,
man.
He would have the best bars.
Yeah.
Parable bars, bro.
Dude, do you reckon they had like posse tracks back in the day with the 12 disciples on there? They would have gone hard.
Yeah.
All right, you're really getting to me now. Okay, I'm like thinking, dude, I'm trying to think of like Melbourne MCs because it's like, who else would it be unless we're talking some super like, because now I'm thinking about who's big like Chilling It and Nerve and stuff.
Nah, they're not like of that, but in my eyes, they're better rappers, but they're not at that magnitude, even though they should be.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give you some hints. There's 2 of them. Well, one doesn't live in Hobart anymore, but 2 of them are known for being from Hobart. One of them lives in Adelaide, and 3 of them live in Perth.
Dundee. Yeah, that guy's, man, he's great. I was playing a song the other day. He has an old song called Coppers from like 2012 or 13. And someone was like, "Is this fucking Dundee?" And I was like, "Yeah, man," because he's so different to how he
Dundee's
is
a
now.
mad
Man. He's
rapper.
grown so much, man. I remember when he battled Cursor, such a different guy now.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Is Greeley on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting collab so far.
So you got Dundee, Greeley, Draft so far.
Oh man, this is exciting. I'm like really trying to guess as well. Is Daz on it?
Nope.
Ooh, okay.
Well, he is. Daz is on the Syllabolix track.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that sort of doesn't count.
I'm
yeah,
talking
okay.
outside of that. Yeah.
In this, does Syllabolix track have like everyone, like Fluent?
No.
No.
Oh, it's got Fluent.
Oh, okay. No, it doesn't have everyone, of course. Yeah, okay. So, oh, is Grievous on it?
Nope.
Yeah, damn it. I was wondering if he would be. I was like, surely not.
No Grievous.
Oh, okay. So what have I got? I've got two people who still don't live here on it. Or no, I've mentioned Dundee and Greeley, so there's still one person who's not from Perth. Do you reckon I'll get it? Have you made music with them before?
I think so. Pretty sure. We've been on a track together before, sure. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have.
Fuck, my brain's scratching for like. Okay. Give me this then. Is he from Melbourne, Sydney, or Queensland?
Adelaide.
Oh, this one's the one from Adelaide.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fuck, Adelaide. Oh, hold on a second. Suffer pressure? Or?
Nah. Again, he's in my eyes just as good a rapper, but he's not quite there.
K21?
Nope.
The fuck is from Adelaide? I'm trying to think of like people. I'm like fucking like Adelaide. I'm trying to think who's from Adelaide. Like I'm just Manners.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there we go. Okay, that's. I was in like a different mindset.
Yeah.
Manners is wild, bro. He's
a penman. The very epitome and definition of penmanship. That guy can.
Crazy
lyricist, man. Yeah, that's my guy,
dude. Manners is in a group.
I was about to give you a hint before. I was going to go, he won't see this.
You're not going to see this one
He's
coming.
not going to see this.
Manners was in like a group back in the day, I think, where he was working with like a DJ or like under a crew called Illegit.
Yeah.
And he has a song called Save Your Breath.
He's insane. Yeah.
It's that song itself is
his conscious raps are like, yeah, he's such a good rapper, man.
He's actually was a dope battler too.
Yeah.
A dope battler.
Oh, sick battler.
Dude, it's...
And when you think about the fact that we all have the luxury of just writing stuff down, he can't do he literally can't do that. So his process, and it just makes it even more impressive for me. But yeah, anyway, so Manners, Dunners,
Greeley, Draft.
So
I got two more from Perth. I feel like you've gone for a younger, like a newer generation person. Is there one of them on there?
Newer.
Okay.
Actually, they're both from the same gen.
But like not from back your...
Both of these were historic. You've mentioned them plenty of times today. We've historically got a lot of songs together with both of them.
Oh, now you're fucking me up. You've historically got a lot of songs together. Have they been on any of the other of your albums?
Oh yeah.
Fuck, I'm gonna cheat. I hell want to fucking know because I'm
you're gonna kick yourself when you realize it.
It's gonna. Oh, Cortex.
Yeah.
Okay. Boom. Oh, then is Greasy on it or?
No.
Okay.
Another C.
Oh, complete. I don't know why I didn't think of that, man. Yeah. Oh, dude, this is like a perfect. It hurts me to say it, but like a last bitter album because it's like.
Yeah, I had to go out.
You've done so much work with these guys.
Yeah, I had to have them on there. They're not on the same track together, but they're... So there's a track with Manners and Cortex, and then there's a track with Draft and Complete, then there's a track with Greeley and Dunners, and then there's a track with Syllabolix.
Oh, man. You've really spilled the beans on this one. I've
I've
made you do it.
Yeah.
Dude, the recent song that you did on Nothing to Show with Draft, fucking Open My Mouth. Your verse on that, man. Your verse on that was my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, dude, the fucking... When you like drop in and it was like the something I said or whatever, like the way that you put it together is hilarious. It's like you're not even saying a whole lot, but the way that it all landed.
It's the delivery. It's all delivery. Yeah.
Delivery. You do the same thing on I think it was Misk's album. When you were like fucking no motherfucker, is that and you did it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. No Mercy.
No Mercy, man. Yeah. It's like that shit is the stuff that I remember the most. Is like those verses,
the character stuff.
Yeah, man. That's a huge part of it, and it's crazy to think that it's going to be the last album, man. But like talking to you and hearing like the background of what, like I think it's important that we covered it. I knew we had to get into hip hop stuff. I'll hit you with some quick fires before we go. We're going talking forever. But is there a favorite song that you have? Like, is there a song that like if you were doing you were doing your last show as Bit of Belief, like is there a song that you just love playing, like of your own?
There's this like rendition of Purple Pills that I do. I really like doing that one. It's just always fun to do. I rap really fast on it, and then I do this like crowd response thing that always goes down really well.
You did a video.
I don't think that'll ever drop out of my set now, and it came together like accidentally. How that song came together. So
You did a video to that.
no.
Didn't you
I've
do
just
like-
literally just brought this in for live show purposes?
Oh, you did one where you were like almost like sitting on a car or something.
Oh, that's called.
Is that Purple Pills or is it similar?
I usually do them two together. Arson.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And Brad and Liam like pull them out of the car and like cover them with fuel and set them on fire. That one.
I swear you did.
Sitting on a car.
Purple
Oh,
Pills.
you're talking
THC?
about Rapper Tag.
Rapper Tag?
Yeah.
Is that Purple Pills?
No.
I feel like you did one of them, or I saw a video of you rapping it at one point. You should just turn that into a reel, bro. That'd
I
probably,
probably
get
should, to be
clicks.
honest with you. Actually, that's a great idea. Yeah.
That's what I'm here for, bro.
That's
It's
a
all
great
good
idea.
ideas.
I'm actually going to do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, look, there it is. Well, I have a bunch of quick fire hip hop stuff to hit you with
Yeah.
before you go, because
Cool.
you are a crazy hip hop fan, super into the American hip hop from memory back in the day.
Yeah. Just so you know, I barely listen to any hip hop now.
Yeah, dude, I had this conversation with someone the other day, and it was the same sort of thing. He was like, "Yeah, man, I just listen to a lot of country now."
Man, I was the whole way here. I was listening to country stuff.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of like worship and praise, the Christian gospel music. I listen to a lot of like R&B, like that Teddy Swims guy. I think he's great. Like
Yeah.
I've gone like real commercial and old with my music. A lot of throwback stuff as well, like Motown stuff.
Yeah,
Michael
okay.
Jackson, Bob Marley, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, like all these.
I got a
Whitney
vinyl
Houston.
player, and I fuck with Sam Cooke a lot.
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
Sam
Motown.
Cooke,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's, do you fuck with NF?
I mean, he's good. He's good at what he does, but not massively. I'm
Not
not one of them. Yeah.
I went to his live show, man. Incredible.
Was it really?
Bro, just an hour and a half, barely even talked much, and just like back to
Back
back,
to back.
never ran out of breath, crazy energy. Came out of the floor and shit like Kanye. There was like lights.
I love that song that he's got with Hops and
Lost.
yeah. I used to work out to that song. It's a good workout song.
It is a good workout song, and they're both Christians as well. So it's like it was cool to see them work together, because NF didn't do a lot of collabs.
Yeah, right.
I think he did like one song with Tech Nine, and then
Yeah, no,
that
you're
was
right. He
it.
doesn't do any collabs. And
Not
Hobson
really.
doesn't really get many collabs either. He's kind of been ostracized from the rest of the industry as one of them rappers.
Well, back in the day, I remember him coming
Internet
over
rappers.
here for like the Funk Volume
That
one,
was
and I think
such a sick show.
yeah, I
right?
didn't get to. I think I was too young. I think Complete. Did he
think
like
did.
support it or something?
Yeah,
maybe?
I think he did. I think I remember me and Seville were talking to him outside after. He was a cool dude. Cool
Yeah,
dude.
he seemed like a cool guy. But yeah, so when it comes to that sort of stuff, do you know who Candace Owens is?
Love Candace Owens.
Okay, there you go. So I think came up. This isn't getting political, don't worry. This thing came up on my thing today, and it was actually her talking to someone. It kind of looked like AI, but it was her talking to someone about music and saying exactly that. So one guy was like, "Oh, what do you find yourself listening to?" And that she goes, I actually realized that a lot of the shit that I was listening to before was really negative.
Mm.
So she's like, now I got to a point where like I actually only really listen to stuff that actually makes me feel good,
Good,
because
yeah.
I would listen to a song that was angry, and then I would like
Feel
feel angry from the song.
100%.
And it's, I feel that the way a little bit about hip hop. Like if you want to make a song about something sad or whatever, as a lot of Australian hip hop artists do that. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's all people do, which is fine, do your thing. But a lot of the time I find myself I can't listen to it now.
Well, the funny thing is that didn't used to be a thing. Like being super vulnerable on tracks and like bearing, like just wearing your heart on your sleeve and chucking it all out there and owning the fact that you're depressed or sad. It never used to be a thing. It was not a thing, especially in Aussie hip hop. And like I don't take credit for much. Consider myself a humble person, but I think I was definitely one of the first people to start doing that. And because I was such a Joe Budden fan, and I was such a Tupac fan, and like all of my favorite rappers were like these sensitive, not soft guys, but like guys that weren't scared to be emotional on tracks, and they were all my favorite Eminem stuff as well. So I started doing a lot of that, and like it just suddenly and then Complete obviously really took it and ran with it, and like it's spread, and it's just like become a massive thing in Australia and it's good. People should be able to be, to bear themselves on a track and to strip all the layers off and be vulnerable. So it wasn't a thing for a long time, and it's definitely become a thing now. Yeah.
It has, yeah. It's definitely, a bit more. And it's not, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, but that sort of stuff is going to affect you in that way. And
I try not to listen to that kind of stuff anymore. Yeah.
brings you down, yeah. When you're trying to be positive, right?
For sure.
So I have some interesting ones. Then let's fire them away. If you could work if you could have a track like before your career ended,
Yeah.
and you could put any Australian artist on it, you could just work with. You could be one or two of them, whatever. Let's say you wanted a track with fucking Brad Strutt and Layla or something, right? You could have any people on it, and it was completely up to you. Right, like it had nothing to do with whether they make music anymore. It could be alive or dead. Like let's go all out and say you could have any ideal track you wanted, like as a collab. Who would you have on it?
It has to be Australian.
Oh, I mean, I was going to kind of ask you like both, to be honest. The main reason I said Australian is just because I'm curious. But American, I was the next question was going to be like, yeah, any artist.
I would, and this doesn't necessarily mean that she's my favorite artist, but I just think we would make some heat together and it would really work. Amy Winehouse to be American artist, and I love Amy Winehouse. She's probably my second or third favorite female artist of all time. Her, Whitney Houston, and Diana Ross are my three favorite female singers ever. But I wouldn't choose Whitney Houston or Diana Ross. I don't know if we'd gel as well, but I reckon me and Amy Winehouse would make some heat. Would make something real dope. I used to love the beats that she would kind of sing on as well.
You watch the movie?
Yeah, it's gut wrenching.
Good. Yeah.
So Amy Winehouse, American, Australian. That's a tough one.
I always like weird collabs. So that's always, I guess, like I've seen Australian collabs before where I'm like, I'd never expected to see those two or three people on a song. You know, like I like those ones that really kind of blow my mind and go, I never thought they would make a song together.
That's a great question. I'm actually trying to think of something outside the box when I should probably just keep it. Paul Kelly would be awesome. Sia would be great just because, you know, she's an amazing, incredible writer. She's written a lot of songs for other people that people don't even realize Sia wrote it.
I didn't know she was Australian.
Yeah, Australian.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Yeah. Rapper wise, great question.
Could be someone you've never worked with as well, right? Because not all those opportunities come up.
100%.
You've probably been around a lot of people, but just hasn't always natural. I mean, you've never made a song with the Hoods, right? Not saying you choose them, but yeah.
I'd love to go into like some bar for bar shit, like back and forth with Sesta. I feel like me and Sesta would do some real cool, like, you know, four bars each at a time, back and forth, like some cool character punchy stuff.
That would never happen. I mean, I kind of thought,
nah, he doesn't like. I don't even know if he's very active at the moment or what, but. Look, it probably could have happened if I'd tried. I never really tried. I never really thought it could come to fruition. But it would probably, if you could go right now, any rapper in Australia, you can last minute get a song with them on your album, and they're going to full devote their, not just like a throwaway verse, but they'll catch up with you and them in the studio. It would probably be. I'd probably choose Sesta.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that, man. That's interesting. That's interesting. And it's not that he's underrated or whatever, but like because I feel like. The whole Funk Horse thing, and then like Trials I'm a big fan of Trials. I feel like Sesta wasn't appreciated. I don't know if that's right to put it that way.
Again, I'm a flow guy. I love a good flow, and Sesta's got the sickest flow and cadence and this really cool voice as well. I think bar for bar and like lyrically, Trials is probably the better rapper. But like I said, if you were to just go, you two are going to go into a studio for 48 hours and just see what song you come out with, and that's going to be on Bitter's last album, I'd choose Sesta.
I wonder why he dropped the illustrious from the name. Do you remember that?
The illustrious Sesta.
Sesta the illustrious.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't have a ring to it.
Yeah.
Too long. Cool. Okay. All right, let's do this. I always love these ones.
Are you thinking of these off the rip?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
okay. I'm freestyling, bro.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Well, only because I have then. Okay, that's a lie. I've got some pre-written in my head, but I'm trying to like stack them.
Mix them
but
up.
Biggie Smalls. Or I just want you to choose one, Biggie Smalls, or I'm trying to like think of someone that can even compare that to. Such a hard one. Don't want to say Tupac. Such a normal one. Biggie Smalls or Big Daddy Kane?
Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane or Big L?
Big L.
Oh man, I love Big L.
Mm.
Big L or Tupac?
Tupac.
Tupac or Eminem?
Yeah, that's my hardest one ever.
Oh, damn it. I've topped too early.
I really struggle with. I've always said when people say who's your favorite rapper of all time, it's interchangeable between them two. I'm going to go with.
So different from each other. So,
and I just feel like that for nostalgia reasons and like everything else, Tupac. And I've lost a lot of respect for Eminem as of lately. But,
oh, really?
Yeah. I think for just like lyrical ability and just like all that he's done for me in the sense of like inspiring me, and I wouldn't be a rapper Actually, I might have been, but I wouldn't be as good of a rapper as I am without him. I'd probably have to go with Eminem.
It's crazy. Why the loss of respect? The music stuff or his political stuff?
Bit of political stuff, bit of the music stuff as well.
Yeah. Just look, not to be negative. Quick shout out to Eminem. The new track with JID is not good. So do yourself a favor and go listen to it and be unhappy with it like I was because it hurt my head.
This new flow that he does, like it's too much. Like it's like this real nerdy white voice, and it's just like it's just like. I don't know. It's unbearable sometimes.
It's the
like,
one that people make fun of. That's an awfully hot coffee pot or some shit that Donald Trump rap thing he did. It was like, I do on the JID track. We were laughing. I played it when Josh was here, and he's like, "There's like a."
It's so bad.
He says something where it's like. It's something like he just starts saying the words to rhyme with each other. He's like bits and moaning, minestrone, like, and he just starts saying like foods and shit. And I was like, bro, I can't.
Yeah, rhyming for the sake of rhyming when you're not actually saying anything has always kind of made me cringe a little bit. I've always tried to steer away from that, but he's just become so like overly technical to the point where he's like, what are you even banging on about? So, yeah, I just feel like he sold his soul a little bit to number one politically, and number two, like. And his album, like, I think his album was like, there's a song called Lucifer, there's a song called Antichrist, there's a song called, like, he really pushes this, like, demonic thing. And, you know, at a certain time it was cool. And, like, even when I'm in the gym, like, I like listening to, like, aggressive music. It's probably the only place I do. Actually, I listen to softer stuff in the music in the gym these days, but it just seems like he's not even authentic anymore. Like I was saying, it's all about authenticity now. And Eminem feels so far removed from who he actually is. I don't think he knows who he actually is. I think like being considered the GOAT and being like, and it's made John Jones act crazy too. As soon as people start calling you the GOAT, I feel like you start like all these expectations and being on a pedestal starts to make you crazy and you become the ultimate people pleaser. So, yeah. And then some of the stuff he did during the political campaign that was happening in America recently, I was like, what are you doing? It's just really weird.
It's become like robotic a little bit.
Robotic, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, super strange.
Anyone still in there, bro? Like,
yeah, it's definitely, man. I always said he used to make good music, and then I think he just got to a point, man, where it was almost like he got too good at it. Yeah. And then he just, it's like he
he's chasing his own shadow now.
Yeah, I can't remember the law, but there's this thing that applies to training a lot that you might have been heard of. I can't remember the name. It's called super compensation. It's about like training, and it's basically like how you get to a point where you can make all the gains here, and then you go past that. Right. It's kind of what I feel like he did. He went past it, and then it's like he just couldn't make songs anymore.
Always get it at the top.
Always get it at the top, and the top was where, like, to me, the top was like it's like the first 3 albums.
I reckon if he'd have dropped Kamikaze and disappeared, he probably would have been. Like when he came back and that revival and relapse revival and all that stuff and
revival suck balls.
Yeah, but he came back and like did that Kamikaze album dissing himself for the revival period. I thought that was real cool. It was like a real cool storyline. And he was like rapping again.
Kamikaze was wild.
And then he should have just left it as that and gone out on that note, Kamikaze, and just done a feature every now and then and killed the feature. I would have been happy with that, but he's just like flogging a dead horse now, and it's awkward. It's cringe. It's like this really old guy trying to be cool still, and it's like he's so not cool anymore that it's weird. It's like,
yeah. I didn't like the I wasn't a huge fan of that Houdini song, and everyone was a big fan of it, and I was like, I don't really like it.
So bad.
I feel like I'm not a huge fan of it, but
so bad.
The features and stuff were where it was getting out. Like every time you'd hear it, it's funny. You just see people like making fun of it on reels now. Like when you get an Eminem feature, and he's just like. Night and white, and he's just like some like dude, just like what the fuck.
And he's got whoever's song it is, he's got them just with normal beat. They do a 16, then Eminem does like an 80 bar verse. It's got all these mental dropouts. It's like, who do you think you are, bro?
Yeah,
just drop a 16 on the beat that everybody else rapped on. You don't get this big like fucking entrance into his verse. Like,
probably charged him like $2 million for the verse too.
100%, yeah, it's just a bit much.
It's crazy. If you could hang out for a day with any person ever in terms of like any character, this is hard to say this, right? I don't want to exclude religion, but obviously I kind of have to because obviously Jesus would probably be the cool. He'd be the coolest guy.
You weren't even going to finish that question.
No, but like Christ. The reason I like it is because I'm super like movie nerd anyway, so I always think of movies. But like any like fictional character it could be as well. So I always like the idea that you could hang out with like someone who was like a character in a movie if you wanted.
That threw it. I was about to drop my answer and then you threw a spanner.
What was the answer before?
Probably Denzel Washington, Muhammad Ali. Like, do you get to pick the time period as well?
Oh yeah, I'd definitely rather hang out with Denzel when he was younger than now.
Not even.
Oh,
I'd rather hang out with Denzel now, but Muhammad
Actually-
Ali, like, do you want to hang out with him when he's doing all this shit, or do you want to hang out with him when he's like,
As long as he's not pouring the drinks,
he's-
it's not too bad, you know. But to be fair, you got me about Denzel. Actually, he'd actually probably be cool to hang out with now because motherfucker would have some stories and he's super wise.
yeah, I wouldn't want to hang out with Michael Jordan because he'd probably ruin it for me because I think he's a bit of an asshole, but he's Michael friggin' Jordan. So, do you know who actually? Mike Tyson these days. 2025 Mike
To
Tyson.
do mushrooms with
I'd
him?
get on the mushrooms with him. I would. I'm avoiding drugs as much as I possibly can. But if Mike Tyson's sitting there and he pulls out a bag of mushrooms, I'm like, let's go to the promised land, brother.
Yeah, look, if it gets weird and he starts talking about porn or something, I might leave. But
Yeah.
other than that, that would be a pretty interesting.
Yeah, these days Mike Tyson would be good. Yeah.
It'd be cool, and then like as long as he didn't like joke around about punching you or anything, because I reckon that'd freak me out.
would
on
leave
mushrooms. Yeah, that would
immediately.
freak me right out. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could rap on any beat ever by any producer,
Well, you kind of can. But you mean like if I could have taken it to be my own?
or if they can make you a beat, that's a cool one. If you could just jack any beat, but officially, if any beat ever could have been yours instead of the person's it was, that's always a hard one though, because it's like the song was good, but
Still Dre.
oh yeah, still
Love
Dre.
Still Dre. That 2001 Chronic album was mental. Also, like in the club was a crazy beat. I remember when that beat came out, I was like, and it was everywhere. Cars were driving past, in the club was playing, and that beat was actually meant to be for D12, and they turned it down, and then 50 Cent got on it and did what he did. So I've always found that interesting. But it would probably be Still Dre, to be honest with you.
In the club, shout outs to 360 who did jack that beat and called it In the Chub, and it's a song about fat people.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's horrible. He would probably hate it, but it's funny that you mentioned jacking it because there's not too many people that could pull that off.
No.
So and you did Purple Pills.
Great questions. Yeah, yeah.
That's
yeah.
a good one. But if you could have anyone make you a beat, do you have any producers that
It
you
would be
like?
Dre.
Oh, it would still be Dre?
I would wrestle between Dre. The thing is about Dre is just so consistent. But Kanye goes like this. He hits and misses, but when he hits, man, he hits. Pharrell would be in there. Would be one of them three. They're my three favorite producers. Timbo's like a close four. Yeah, it would be Dre.
Okay. I've got a lot of, not as many as I'd like. Maybe I have to start fucking sticking them all or something. But I've got a fair few Oz hip hop albums behind me. Do you have a favourite Australian hip hop album? Iconic for you? Probably listened to it a lot. back
And
in the day.
again, this is not like even just on rapping ability. This is off like nostalgia, everything involved, like everything. It would be Who Am I, The Calling, or When the Dust Settles.
Oh man.
It'd be one of them three. Even the greatest hits, Funkors, one of them four. I would struggle to really pick one out of them. If I had to pick one, gun to my head, life on the line, I'd
Which
go
one by the Funkors?
the greatest hits.
Oh man, the greatest hit. Oh dude, I love that song.
I remember when that came out, I was like, what is happening? Like, this is.
I always like that. I don't know what album. Was it off an album? Maybe that fucking And Now for Something completely different.
That's that one.
Is that it?
Yeah,
dude. Because I had the Quickening.
Yeah.
So I had that hard copy, but the greatest hit was before that. And that's the one, did that have?
Paint the walls with period blood or something like that.
Yeah, it was hectic, man.
Get crushed like you gave Big Pun the top bunk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
All these lines I used to go, yo, this is mental.
Which,
Yeah.
he could say that at the time too, because that was Fat Trials, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fat
Okay.
Trials was
That-
crazy. But the Calling, because it was just the Calling, and it helped and made me change my accent. Them for their albums, because they were just on heavy rotation at the time, it made me change my accent. It made me, they were my introduction to Australian hip hop. And I was like, oh, I got to do this. This is so sick.
Yeah.
So it would be hard to choose between any of them. But if I had to choose one, it would probably be the Calling. Yeah.
Yeah, the Calling's wild.
Mm.
This is always like sounds depressing as well, but it's always one of my last questions. So if you were on death row, what would your last meal be? I'm always curious. I love food.
Malaysian chicken curry.
Oh, yeah. So get this out of the way, right?
Or curry.
I'm not
Just
going
a
to.
curry. Yeah.
You're that's your ethnicity, right?
My dad's Indian. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm just putting this out there, and I'm saying it in the nicest way I possibly can. Do people sometimes mistake you for being Italian?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The only time people have ever picked me to be Indian was in India.
Oh, did you go to India? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Was
I
that-
went in 2018, me and Drafto, and and it was sick. We went to like within 10 days, I think we went to like 6 or 7 different cities. We were just constantly on the move driving. and it was like Agra, Jaipur, Rishikesh, Rajasthan, Old Delhi, New Delhi. Like we were just on the move, just driving through India, and it was so sick. But I think twice there. I can remember once. I've always said it was twice, but I can only think of once where they were like, "Where are you from?" And I said Australia, and they were like, "No, where are your parents from?" I said, "Oh, my dad's from South India," and they were going, talking in like Hindi to each other. I think they must have had like some kind of bet on it or something. Like
Yeah.
he's someone's Indian. In
The
this
other
guy's
guys
life.
like thought you were Italian.
Yeah. But everywhere else, Italian, Greek, Lebanese, one of them three.
Yeah, okay. Was it confronting being in India? So I know someone, we have someone here that's from there and they go over there a lot and stuff. It's apparently pretty different.
In
right?
certain parts, yeah.
Yeah,
In
pretty
certain,
full.
like Old Delhi was hectic. Me and him were walking down the street, obviously both white, especially Paulie. And then I had all my tattoos out, and then they're just like this. And I'm talking thousands of people in the street, just like, they just stare. They got no, here you're like, oh, I better not stare. Like someone's walking down the street looking weird and shit, you wouldn't stare. They had no problem staring. But the thing about them is they're looking at you like they don't like you or they're angry, and then you go, namaste or whatever, and they go, namaste, brother. And like so they go from being like the angriest looking person ever to the happiest, warmest person looking ever, but they're just looking at you like, what the hell is this guy doing here? Because no tourists go to India to go to Old Delhi. Old Delhi is just like this hectic place.
So many people.
And we got lost a few times. So
It puts it in perspective that people were staring at you, because I'm just going to point this out, and it's not to make light of it. It's just a statistic, but a very large percentage, if not all of the world, India is where most of the open defecation happens in the world. All right. So we're talking about these people are, you're getting stared at in a country where people shit in the street, and they probably don't even stare at them while they're doing that.
Yeah.
So that you're obviously really something else, because they're looking at you. But that sounds like a sick experience, man. I feel like that probably aligns with like where you're at too. That would have been because they're like obviously pretty religious over there, and everything's kind of like a lot more in line with that. So you and Paulie must have done some pretty cool shit.
It was great. It was really great.
Yeah.
Hell of an experience, man.
That's awesome. That's me for questions, bro. We have done
questions.
2.5 fucking hours.
Great. I can
And
talk some shit. That's why.
dude,
Sorry, Rose. But it was like, I'm finna get out of here.
I'd love to say she hasn't. I haven't put her through this many times, but I have.
Okay, cool.
Look, man, it's always hard with this. It's not like a fucking goodbye, but I always find it hard to like encapsulate. Like, well, it's always weird, man. We talked about it before with characters, stuff like that. You're a big influence in my life growing up. A lot of my friends listened to your music. You were someone that we talked about. As much as it wasn't that you were a celebrity, for a period of time you were kind of to us, but it wasn't in a way that I felt like I was looking up to someone because they were better than me. It was kind of like, this guy has done all these cool things that I really like. I recognize all of his verses. I get excited when he's working with someone. We're playing them at parties. It's the kind of thing where it's a more of a level of appreciation and being kind of thankful that someone's doing something that you like and they keep on doing it. And, I really wish I could have come to more shows. I was kind of into it at such a bad time. By the time I was 18, things had shifted along a little bit more, and some of the stuff had already kind of stopped happening. Unfortunately, like I missed, like I was like 17 when Hunter's last show happened, which you guys all would have been at. So it was in, I think one of the last ones was in Bunbury too, when I was living there. I was spewing, I couldn't go. I would have loved to come to more, but I'm assuming you're going to do some for this next album.
Of course, yeah.
So I'll see you at Paul's on the 8th of August. Are the ones that you're going to do for this album this year?
The shows?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to release it in September, start of September. And then September, I'll probably do the show in October. Maybe get on the road again. I'd love to go back to Hobart again. My family fell in love with Hobart. But yeah, there'll definitely be a Perth show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And do you think you might do another tour before you kind of leave it? Or?
That's what I mean. I think I might do a small one. I didn't get to do Sydney or Brisbane on that last little leg that I did. So I might do Perth, Sydney, Brisbane, get in a sneaky Tassie trip just because I love it down there so much, and hang it up, bro. In terms of, like I said, I'll still pump out songs and EPs and stuff, but in terms of touring and getting on the road and trying to live the artist life, like I'll be taking a pretty monumental step back from that. It just doesn't do it for me anymore, man.
I'm glad I got you at a good time, man, before it stopped.
Great time, yeah.
But look, man,
I don't think I'll do a podcast again either, to be honest with you.
Fuck yeah.
I said with the last one, we've got like a couple of things that have happened in the past with podcasts. I was like, I'm not going to do it anymore. But I genuinely enjoy talking shit. But I thought I'd just get one more out Yeah, and I've been loving what you've been doing too. So I was like, cool, let's just go do that and we'll cap it off. So last pod as well. And I gave you the features from my last album too. Didn't plan to do that, but bugger it. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Oh, look, I'm stoked. Luckily, this won't come out straight away, so it gives people a little bit of surprise. But yeah, look, man, thank you so much for being here. I'm looking forward to the shows when they happen. I'll make sure that we come do that, buy the album, add it to the collection.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm really glad that you're happy, and I'm stoked for where you're at in life, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you too. Thanks for having me. My man.